confusion and they got left.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
And like on air, they're like joking about it, and they're talking about how they're eating them and enjoying them.
And Jen Jensen.
Well, as they should, because I mean, I doubt
they don't go bad overnight.
Well, they're not as fresh, and I feel sure that probably Lauren was thinking, man, this would be really nice. He can have some donuts. He can share with his coworkers.
Who are you defending right now? Which person are you defending?
I'm trying to remember.
Anybody but me is clearly what you're doing here. That's the name of the early game. Just defend anybody but Gunner.
But
no way he was in the right on this.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
The theme of this show. I don't know what happened.
107.5 The Game.
Memorial Day weekend. It's off to a windy start as we get you up on the Friday morning, May the 26th. Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne with us for just a little while this morning, and we'll talk some baseball. Let you listen to Mark Kingston and Jack Mahoney coming up later on this morning. And that's where we start, Preston, on what will be a fun weekend, a little bit of a sour note yesterday as Texas A&M gets rolling early and has little problem, aside from a scare in the 8th inning, putting the Gamecock baseball team away. It was 4-0 after 4. They tacked on a run in the 5th, and South Carolina gets just one hit yesterday, and the SEC conference tournament appearance has come to a conclusion. We'll now turn our attention to the NCAA tournament. Preston Thorne, thoughts?
Oh boy. Yeah. We there probably was not a worse outcome. I think that could have came from this appearance in the SEC tournament. Yes, we did win one game. However, the methods or the ways in which we lost the 2 games that we did lose are discouraging, to say the least.
Did we lose him? That was quick. It was a good start to the program. Okay, we'll continue to see if we can effort that one and get Preston Thorne. Preston on the phone this morning, out traveling, heading up, I believe, to Greenville today to get out into the schools with Langston and work on some reading. So we'll get Preston back there and see what he's got to say. But 5-0 defeat. The discouraging thing that I think Preston was kind of alluding to, number one, you don't get the best outing from Jack Mahoney. And again, we'll let you listen to him a little bit. Yesterday, 4 innings pitched. He gave up 5 hits, 4 earned runs, only struck out 2, walked 2 as well. Not the kind of outing that you were hoping from him. Matthew Becker and Chris Veach each got a little bit of run in the game, but Jack Mahoney, not the kind of performance you want, but then also discouraging, as Preston said, from the fact you only get 1 hit. The bats appear to have gone silent, and Preston's back with us, and you were kind of alluding to, just you said it. You've been very adamant, Preston. Don't just throw these games away. You develop a winning attitude, a winning habit, and somewhere South Carolina's got to flip the switch. And this was a good opportunity yesterday with at least your most consistent pitcher on the mound of late, and that didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean the bats were like you just said, the bats were lifeless. They were sweet. They weren't able to generate any offense. They did get a lot of base on balls, which usually means it indicates that they will get some offense, but they didn't put the ball in play enough for them to be able to generate that offense. And those are the things that you look at where you're just not sure where that offense is going to come from. I'm not to the point of standing on the table or pounding the drum, but Bill, I just don't like the idea of we can just turn it on when the NCAA gets here. It's very difficult to do. And the concept that all of a sudden we just wake up when the lights come on, it's very difficult to do in sports.
Well, here's maybe a little bit more discouraging. This is, look, South Carolina's in the NCAA tournament. The question has been, will they host or not? According to the most recent, this was yesterday, according to the most recent D1 projections, South Carolina was listed as a 15 seed. They were going to, or at least as of yesterday, I should say, they were slated to host, Preston. This is D1 baseball. It had South Carolina hosting along with North Carolina as the 2 seed, Grand Canyon is the 3 seed, and UNC Wilmington is the 4 seed. We'll see if South Carolina did enough this past week, I should say, in Hoover, picking up just the one win. I mean, for all we've talked about for the last 3 days, South Carolina knocks off Georgia, but then instantly goes down to LSU and Texas A&M. Was the victory over Georgia enough, given that Kentucky and Tennessee lost, to push them over the top and into that seeding? Again, D1 baseball is who I'm using here, has them hosting. It has them matched up with the Florida regional. That actually might be a little bit something of a nice setup, given of what happened with South Carolina and Florida earlier in the year. Maybe you got some confidence that Clemson would be the number 5 national seed and be matched up with Kentucky, 12. Alabama would be the 11 national seed. Auburn would be the 10 national seed. They would actually be matched up with Vanderbilt as well. But Preston, kind of to your point, have you ever in your lifetime, have you ever seen a team that really can just click and turn it on? I mean, is the closest thing we saw that South Carolina football team this past year?
Yeah, and that's why even that was so unprecedented and unbelievable for us as fans. It was sort of magical because it doesn't normally happen that way. There's not the way that it typically goes down. Once the slide starts, especially towards the end of the season, it's very difficult to get it back on track. So we, as a South Carolina fan base, maybe we can point to the football team and say, hey, it's been done before. It can happen. So you're telling me there's a chance we could be those people, but the overwhelming majority of sports history says that it's not usually how it goes.
803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in this morning. Again, later on this morning, we'll play the full press conference from Mark Kingston and Jack Mahoney, so you can kind of hear that and take away from it what you will instead of just playing select clips of it. That'll come around 7:30 this morning. We'll let you listen to that as we go through the morning. But, yeah, baseball talk, not much. Preston, correct me if I'm wrong. I know people say, talk baseball. I at this point, without being super negative, what else can we say about this team? I mean, it feels like, unfortunately, you keep talking about cutting it on. You keep talking about reverting. We keep talking about reverting back to how they were in April. It just, whether they go on the road or whether they're at home, it just feels like the writing is on the wall for what's coming down the pipe. Am I wrong about that? Am I being ultra negative?
No, I don't think you're being negative. I think you're being realistic. You're dealing with what you have seen. It's not up to us that are outside of the clubhouse to speculate on what's going in or knowing the inside workings. And that's why even last year with Shane Beamer, when he was kind of saying, well, you just watch what's going to happen. I don't know about that, Shane. There's no evidence to support your claims. And so I think what's interesting to me about this whole interesting part of this conversation is Mark Kingston said that, games count the same in March as they do in May. And I think on the surface that is correct, but I'm not sure if I actually agree with that.
We will again. I'll let you.
Game counts, but I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'll again, coming up later this morning about 7:30ish. I'll let you listen to the whole press conference from Mark Kingston yesterday, and Mark Kingston and Jackson Mahoney, and you can kind of come away with that. So we'll continue some baseball talk, but again, Preston, I guess where I was going with that last comment, I just feel like at this point, the writing's on the wall. I don't know what else to say about the baseball team, and then when the season comes to a conclusion, whenever that may be, then we will take a look. Again, overall, I think this is one thing that you can't be lost. Overall, it's not been a bad season. The roller coaster is what makes it look worse, right? Like if we just arrived at this point like a regular season where there was wins early on, there was losses, there was just kind of all of it intertwined is what I'm going for there. And it wasn't the up to the peak, to almost the peak of the mountain at number 3, only to fall off. I think everybody would be in a relatively good mood and feel better. But it's, man, this month of May has been such a drastic turn. We'll see what happens. We'll see if they can turn it around and get into that. 803-404-6100. Preston, I am going to make a prediction when we come back that I'm not sure I want to make. I'm not sure I want to be right.
Oh, no. I think I know what I think I know where you're going with this, Bill.
I've got a bad feeling. After last night, and I will let you know that when we come back. Preston Thorne on the road today. I'm here in studio. Producer Ed Bird behind the glass. Got a full show for you lined up. A lot to get to. Chris Deering coming up at 7 o'clock this morning. We'll have John Whittalone in the 8 o'clock hour to let him give us an assessment of what he sees from this baseball team from Hoover. You're listening to Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Yes, this is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute. You know, I stand with Andy Reid, folks, and absolutely abhorring the NFL's new fair catch kickoff rule that brings the ball out to the 25-yard line. The Chiefs coach reacted by wondering at what point will the NFL end up playing flag football. And I'm wondering, is the NFL an actual game or is it a business? Is it a sport or entertainment? I'm Boomer Esiason.
Had enough of those little flies in your kitchen?
I did. That's why I got Zevo. I just plug in the trap, insert a cartridge, and let the light do all the work.
Zevo traps use blue and UV light to attract and trap flying insects with no odor, no mess, and no stress. Stop swatting and ditch the DIY traps. With Zevo, getting rid of bugs is as easy as
Click, click, blue.
Zevo. People-friendly, bug-deadly.
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save. Right now, buy a select Metabo HPT cordless nailer and get a 36-volt 2.5 amp-hour battery free, a $139.99 value. And as a Lowe's MVP, buy select Owens Corning shingles and earn 2 times the bonus points per dollar. Lowe's knows pros. Valid 5/11 through 7/12. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. U.S. only. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Valid through 6/1. Subject to change.
All right, folks, get your outdoors ready for spring and summer with integrated media. Samsung Terrace TVs, waterproof, Sonos outdoor speakers for TV and music. Listen, the weather's been beautiful here for the last couple of days. You wish you would have had your integrated media there to take advantage of sitting outside, but you didn't, and that's okay. You still have opportunity to get ready. You can get Wi-Fi that works indoors and outdoors. Control all your devices from just one remote. Home theater setup, adjusting your thermostat, monitoring security system. Whatever you need, Integrated Media is the company to call. So call Nathan and Michael at 803-948-8327. That's 803-948-8327. Or get them online at integratedmediainc.com. That's integratedmediainc.com.
Got something to say? Ring us up on the Love Chevy phone line. South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer. At 803-404-6100. Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Take 5 Oil Change. At Take 5, they're faster than you think. That means they'll change your oil and have you back on the road before you can count all the change in your center console. Cha-ching, baby! Just sit back and relax while their fast, friendly team does all the work. Take 5, the stay-in-your-car 10-minute oil change.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-568-2790. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-568-2790. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-568-2790. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-568-2790. 800-568-2790.
Business owners, this is South Carolina quarterback Spencer Rattler. The Garnet Trust is connecting businesses like yours with athletes like me through NIL deals. Head over to garnettrust.com or 1075thegame.com to find out you can leverage the power of an athlete endorsement to grow your business.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
Trucks, we want trucks. New Silverados are on the ground now, and more are on the way to Herndon Chevrolet. We're taking up to $15,000 off to get you in your new truck. Stop by your hometown Chevy dealer and shop all your favorite models at prices you'll love. Find new roads at Herndon Chevrolet, or visit us online at HerndonChevy.com today.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
Keep your heating and air system operating at tip-top performance.
The cleaner you keep the system, the more efficiently it's going to run for you.
We come out, we clean the coils, change the filters, put a pound of Freon in.
Visit allamericanheatingandair.com to receive an instant $25 coupon toward your system's maintenance agreement.
Helping your home and all that you need to put you at ease. You need us, we're there. All American Heating and Air.
107.5 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections. South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Ticket for Friday started. We do have an accident at I-26 westbound that is closing the road at the exit 108 where I-26 kind of merges in due to an accident earlier this morning. Also, it's causing a backup on westbound I-20. The right lane there is blocked at exit 65 at the US 176 Broad River Road. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're heading out, that there is a couple accidents and delays that could slow you down this Friday morning. I'm Eric Zernick with your First Alert Traffic for WIS News 10.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game. A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today. Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The early game with Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen on your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
.620 on a kind of windy Friday morning here in the capital city. Hope you're doing well out there, getting ready for a big weekend, Memorial Day weekend. I believe, I don't follow lacrosse now that Patrick's not around, but I believe it's a big weekend of lacrosse. I might have to text Patrick here in a little while and check on that. It will also be, Preston, potentially a big weekend for the Miami Heat. And that's because they could be on the verge of making history and not good history. I'm kind of prepared here to say that after watching the Heat and the Celtics last night, Celtics win 110-97. So they're now down 3-2. But it really, the 13-point, if you're saying, oh, Bill, calm down, it's only a 13-point game. No, it really was never that close, Preston. I don't know how much you watched of it. The Heat looked tired. They were down 15 at the end of the first quarter. It went to 17 at halftime. They outscored the Celtics by 5 in the fourth quarter. Jimmy Butler last night, I don't want to say was useless, but they've kind of slowed him down. Just 14 points from him last night. Never really a good thing when Duncan Robinson is your high scorer. Gabe Vincent, who had been playing really well, I don't know if you saw the injury to him, the rolled ankle. I am at an age now, and I don't know if you're this way. When you see a guy roll his ankle, or when you see anybody roll their ankle, and they do it in the slow-mo, I cringe. Like, I can't even watch it. And the Gabe Vincent rolled ankle in game 4 looked awful, and the announcer started talking about how that thing was going to swell up. I've got a bad feeling here, and I'm pretty much ready to say that the Celtics are about to just crush me and pretty much all of Heat Nation.
Well, Heat culture won. Come on, Bill. We got to have Heat culture. I thought that's what this whole thing was about. That's one. Also, I don't very often come with statistics on the show, but I have a statistic, Bill.
Please, come uplift me. Tell me give me something positive to believe in here.
Well, I can't say that it's positive. I can just give you the numbers.
Okay.
0 and 151. That is the previous record of teams that are down 3-0.
So you're saying it has to happen at some point.
You can say that, or I'm saying it hasn't happened yet. I don't know. I don't know how you want to spin this, Bill. I'm just giving the number.
I do feel like I am just preparing myself for what is about to happen. Maybe I am just being Mr. Negative, ultra negative. But last night, the Celtics, they rolled. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are finally starting to put it together last night. You got 21 from Tatum, somewhat efficient, 8 of 16, 11 assists, though, 8 rebounds. Then you throw in Jaylen Brown last night had 21 points, 9 of 18 shooting. So you got the contributions you needed from them. But what really helped last night, Marcus Smart and Derek White, the 2-point guard system there, 23 for Smart, 24 for Derek White. And it doesn't feel like the Heat are going to be able to match up with this. And I will say, for the sake of watching the NBA Finals and really thinking it's a better matchup, I probably would like to see the Celtics versus the Nuggets. I think that's actually the better matchup, even though I wouldn't like it, because I feel like the Nuggets are a bad matchup. I don't feel like there's anybody on the interior. I don't know if Bam can guard the Joker, and I could be wrong about that, but I'm not thrilled about the matchup of the Heat and the Nuggets. So if I'm going to watch, and I enjoy watching the NBA championship, the NBA Finals, if I'm going to feel like I get a better product, if that makes sense, because again, while I like the Heat, I don't live and die with my professional team, so I'm okay admitting if I have to get better television, I'm okay not seeing a team that I kind of root for in there. If I feel like that's the best product, and I do feel like, I don't know if you agree with this, Celtics with Tatum and Brown and Horford and Smart versus the Nuggets is probably a little bit better product. Are you on board with that?
I am on board with that, Bill, but you were supposed to save that speech until at least 3-3. You're supposed to get that speech at 3-3.
Oh no, I'm getting out in front of this one there, Preston. I'm going ahead and just moving straight forward and getting completely out in front of it.
I understand. I love the rationalization. I do agree with it, but I just hold off one more game, Bill, before we start this. One more game, because honestly, if we're being sport analytical about this whole situation, the Boston Celtics are are more talented team. They have more talent almost at every position, and maybe we're just starting to see that at a certain point in the NBA, maybe actual talent eventually ends up winning out. I still don't think Mazzulla is a better coach than Spo. That's not what it is. But the Miami Heat are limited in what they can do, and the Celtics are a better team. I don't know if that still gets them over the hump, but there's a possibility.
803-404-6100, how you can join in this morning. I'll get you a few more sporting things that are on the table this morning. Some trouble in some trouble in Las Vegas. I'll get Preston's take on that. And Preston did a magical run come crashing to an end yesterday. I'll tell you about those two things. We'll get back into some baseball talk as well. Again, Chris Deering due up in the 7 o'clock hour. That'll be some baseball talk. River Bluff, your 5A state champions. We'll tell you about that. And then John Whittle will join us in the 8 o'clock hour. So we got a lot to get to. But next up, I'll tell you about Las Vegas. And I'll get Preston's take on what it's like when players vent and coaches agree with them. And again, did a magical run crash yesterday, Preston. I'll tell you about that and ask your opinion when we come back. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
We are very social. At 107.5 The Game on Twitter, 107.5 The Game on Instagram, and 107.5 The Game on Facebook.
Oh, Teddy, did you get my friend request? Oh, I'll have to check.
Your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
Preston here for Absolute Glass, the premier glass company of the Midlands, offering auto, home, and business glass repair. If your glass is damaged, shattered, cracked, or broken, they can handle the job. Cracked windshield, no problem. They come out to your location and replace it for you, usually for free. And they work directly with your insurance to take away the headache. So if you're looking to increase the value of your home with new windows or mirrors, Absolute Glass will come out and take care of all of that for you. Windows, mirrors, shower enclosures. You hear me say it all the time. If you can see through it, Ray, Marianne, and Absolute Glass can do it. So check them out online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com. That's online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com.
Playing hard left you with sore muscles? Consider cryotherapy. Embraced by athletes at the highest levels, cryotherapy is known for reducing inflammation while stimulating rapid recovery. It strengthens your immune system, increases metabolism, boosting your energy, not to mention cognitive clarity, for days.
Feel better than you thought possible in just 3 to 4 minutes with cryotherapy. Schedule an appointment at Icebox Cryotherapy at 4609 Forest Drive.
When you download the Kroger app, you have easy access to savings every day. Shop weekly sales and get personalized coupons to get the most value out of every trip, every time, whether you shop in-store or online. Download the Kroger app now to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Must have a digital account to redeem offers. Restrictions may apply. See site for details.
Save big on your favorites with the Buy 5 or More, Save $1 each sale. Simply buy 5 or more participating items and save $1 each with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
I'm Taylor Bisciotti with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. NFL Network insider Tom Pelissero reports Raiders quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo underwent foot surgery in March. Head coach Josh McDaniels says he may be sidelined until training camp. Pelissero says it was a cleanup procedure. Garoppolo suffered a season-ending foot injury in December and signed a 3-year deal with the Raiders at the start of free agency. Tony Pollard has been on the field for the start of Cowboys organized team activities, and head coach Mike McCarthy says he's been participating in the slower-paced walkthroughs. The Cowboys starting running back is recovering from off-season leg surgery. And Giants running back Saquon Barkley is not at OTAs as he has yet to sign his franchise tag while seeking a new contract. Head coach Brian Daboll asked about the contract, saying, quote, "That situation is going to be between Saquon Barkley and the organization." This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Come shop Memorial Day deals now at Lowe's. Refresh your home for the summer for less. When you buy one, get one 50% off on select interior and exterior paints and exterior stains via Lowe's gift card rebate. And prep meals for the whole family on the new Blackstone 28-inch flat-top grill. Just $298 for a limited time only. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 5/31 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details.
Wow, Total Wine really does have everything. I found your favorite bourbon, an awesome vodka. Oh, and Ruthie.
Ruthie?
That's me. Always happy to help. Honey, Ruthie found that amazing Cabernet you loved.
Oh, yeah. That Cabernet was really good.
And we have it for the lowest price in town.
We've got to get another bottle. So glad we found Ruthie.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly, be 21.
Get a great deal on versatile Kubota equipment today, like Kubota BX and L Series compact tractors, part of our tractor lineup rated #1 in durability and owner experience, Z Series mowers, and Sidekick utility vehicles. Stop by your local Kubota dealer today. Bring home select BX Series equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 72 months, plus save up to $800, now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
Stop by Pioneer Farm Equipment in Orangeburg, 1 mile off of I-26 exit 154B, or at pioneerfarmsc.com.
The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections. South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
The earlier accident on Interstate 26 westbound has since been cleaned up, and all roadways are now open and traffic is moving along just fine. Just expect maybe a little bit of slowdown in that area near the flyover, but overall traffic looking pretty good as we get this Friday morning started. Now as we push later on into the morning, hopefully it will continue to stay that way, but do know as we move into the holiday weekend, traffic will be picking up, so just pack the patience over the coming days. With your First Alert Traffic, I'm Eric Zernick with WIS News 10.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
.32 on a Friday morning, May the 26th. Hope you're doing well, getting up, starting your Memorial Day weekend on the right foot. In golf, the way to start is with a birdie, and that didn't happen yesterday for Michael Block, who, Brooks Koepka, obviously huge story last week. A lot of fun watching Brooksy go out and win the PGA Championship. Was thrilled for him picking up his fifth major, but Preston, was Michael Block who stole the story last week. Although now I have to ask you, do you believe in the phrase, all good things must come to an end eventually?
I also believe in the phrase, don't get too big for your britches.
Okay, so basically maybe you kind of believe it. Yeah, yesterday, Michael Block, who received a sponsorship exemption into the Charles Schwab Challenge in Fort Worth, Texas. So he made his way down from Rochester, New York, all the way to Fort Worth, Texas, being a regular tour pro or however it is, living the life. He had a big week last week, Preston. Received text messages from Michael Jordan and other celebrities. He was on SportsCenter, even signed with a sports agency, all kinds of great things. Yesterday, 81. And he is now dead last in the field. He is 15 shots behind the leader, Harry Hall, 19 shots behind the leader. Rough day for poor old Michael Block, who bogeyed 4 of his first 5 holes, closed with double bogeys on 3 of his last 4. Look, I'm all for great stories. I know the PGA is hard. I know golf is hard. Unfortunate for him yesterday. That might be the 15 minutes of fame. He does have, by the way, one more sponsorship exemption into the RBC Canadian Championship or Canadian Open next week. But yeah, Preston, all good things apparently do indeed come to an end.
I believe they also say that's the time when you just leave well enough, leave well enough alone, or let sleeping dogs lie. However you want to say this, Bill. I believe there's a lot of ways that we can mark this. But he also was he also making comments? And that's where I was catching the strays of Hughes, basically saying that he deserved to be here, and a lot of hubris, I would say.
He's been, it hadn't bothered me. But he has, yeah, I mean, just like yesterday, he said, this is after the round. This is post race. He said, I'm looking forward to coming out tomorrow and playing a great round and giving everything I have. He said, I've shot 58 and I've shot a 59 in my life. And since what I had today, I wouldn't be surprised if I did it. So if I do, it's cool. If not, I'll be seeing my kids and my wife tomorrow night in Orange County, California. It's all good one way or the other. So there is a, like, I'm kind of happy that he's not taking it overly serious. Also, there is a little level of arrogance there that he's displayed, but I'm okay with that. For a PGA Club pro to be living this kind of life, I'm sure is very enjoyable. Doesn't hurt that he also collected a good bit of money last weekend.
Now, I don't know exactly how this goes, but does his rate go back up at the pro shop when he inevitably returns back?
You know, he was talking about that, about how, it might cost a few extra dollars now to get a lesson from him out at Mission Viejo. I forget the course he is from, but yeah, it was certainly not the round he wanted and will be kind of difficult to recover from that and make the cut. Let's just say that this is likely his last round this weekend. I guess he'll get one more sponsorship exemption next week if he wants to participate in the Canadian Open, or the RBC Canadian Open. But that's look, hey, he's living a life that I think 95% of us would love to enjoy for a few days.
100%, and he accomplishes goals. So he's playing with house money right now. It's all good.
803-404-6100. How you can weigh in this morning. We'll get into some more baseball talk coming up later on this morning. I'll play the full interview from Mark Kingston and Jackson Mahoney. We'll have John Whittle at in the 8 o'clock hour this morning as well. And again, Chris Deering coming up in about the 7 o'clock hour. Just a few minutes left with Preston as he's heading off to work on some reading with some kids, get into the elementary schools and hang out. The other thing, though, I wanted to bring up with you, Preston, being a former player, being around a locker, I feel like a football, I think we've had this discussion a little bit. A football locker room is just different. There's a lot of egos. There's a lot of players in the NFL. It's 53. In college, it's normally at least 80 and could be more with walk-ons, and you can go to the full scholarship limit of 85. But in football, I also feel like there's just a lot of testosterone. People who see it as they see it and they want it their way. So when Davante Adams, the wide receiver for the Las Vegas Raiders, says he didn't see eye to eye on the direction of the franchise, not the offense, not the team, the whole franchise. And then Josh McDaniel responds by saying he respects him. He understands why he would say that. He works hard. He's pushing himself. He's pushing his teammates. He's a tremendous leader. How do you take that? Is that a young, I guess I shouldn't say Josh McDaniel is too young of a coach, bowing to his player? Or is that a sign that this franchise is kind of being cohesive and trying to work together?
Oh, Bill, this is a tough one, man, because I am split. I am drawn. I am from a different spot where you don't talk back to the coaches and you don't have any say so, and you go and sit at the kids' table or the players' table. So this is a tough one. This is what I'll say. Josh McDaniels is not a good enough coach to have any other stance than, okay, yeah, I respect that. Because what has Josh McDaniels proven in his illustrious head coaching career? The answer is nothing. So if somebody brings a suggestion to Josh, he has to at least say, yeah, that sounds, and I have to at least entertain that, because Josh hasn't done much as a head coach.
But on the flip side of that, because of that, does he get a lack of respect where maybe players like in this situation? Now, again, let's be clear about this. Davante Adams was not necessarily venting on Josh McDaniels himself, more so with ownership and with the front office. He did say, as far as front office, I have not had a relationship like what I have with those guys, so you can grab something and run with it if you want just to get clicks. And that's what people often do with me and things that I say, whether I misspeak or if I speak up.
Wait. Nobody cares about what Davante Adams said. We don't hear about Davante ever. He had one commercial. Relax, Davante. You're not a superstar like that. So the idea of people running around with misinformation about Davante, that's not true.
He 6-time Pro Bowler, named first team All Pro the last 3 seasons. Doesn't have the Preston Thorne respect to be able to speak up like this?
No. He is a tremendously talented football player, and he's wonderful. But Davante Adams is not in the media. It's not as if the media is waiting on every word that Davante Adams says. He's a great receiver, but he's out there. He chose to go to Las Vegas with his boy Derek Carr. They cut him. So is that what he's talking about? Is he just mad that his guy got cut? Which, by the way, Josh McDaniels had a lot to do with that. Is that what's going on here?
I don't know. I'm interested in this Davante. Yeah, Anthony on our live stream says punches thrown by Coach P. Yeah, you're coming out swinging.
I'm just saying. I didn't expect Davante Adams to be the guy to say, "Oh, the media is trying to twist my words up." I don't think the media really cares about you that much, Davante. Honestly.
It is funny. I say funny. I don't know if that's the right word, but he's walked a lot of this stuff back very quickly since it came out. He went on to say, I've never been encouraged to speak up and share my feelings with the organization the way I have with these two guys, referring to the owner and the head coach. It's never It's never my intention to bring any type of negative attention or throw off the focus of the team or whatever, which did not happen, by the way. So you've got Adams kind of walking back. I'm kind of just interested in a franchise in the Raiders overall, Oakland, Los Angeles, now Las Vegas, wherever, that always seems to be in a little bit of turmoil, that always seems to be creating the wrong kind of headlines. And this is not the way you want to start this year. Now that you've signed also Jimmy Garoppolo, Jimmy G heading over there to help out for $72 million over 3 years, it seems like just more Raiders turmoil, I would guess.
It feels about par for the course. And good luck to Jimmy G, man. Just keep cashing them checks, brother. Just keep cashing them checks on the potential that one day, maybe, you can be a efficient quarterback.
I am interested real quick now in career. Let's play the career earnings game here.
Jimmy's high. Jimmy is high.
Let's just say that he gets the full amount of the contract here as I look at it. I mean, this is a guy who has had a nice little career so far. He's due $22.5 million this coming year. You want to play the career earnings game? Play along for just a second. Career earnings game. Now, if this contract goes through the next 3 seasons, as Jimmy is hoping for, you want to play career earnings on Jimmy Garoppolo. What number are you coming up with? What is your ballpark? I'll give you 2 numbers. What he is currently at, what Jimmy Garoppolo is currently at, and what he would be at after this contract.
Give me 110.
Jimmy Garoppolo currently, after everything, signing bonuses, roster bonuses, workout bonuses, all that, $125.3 million.
I was close.
Jimmy Garoppolo, if he gets all the money from this particular contract, will be at $198 million in career earnings.
Oof. And, I mean, what a blessed life. He's handsome. He's rich. He's an average quarterback. Jimmy's done well for himself.
Look forward to NFL season with you because I feel like there's a lot of resentment toward all of the Raiders organization, whether it's Devontae Adams or Jimmy Garoppolo, whomever. So we will get.
Don't forget Josh McDaniels.
Josh McDaniels, yes, a coach who's done nothing. Just the whole Raiders franchise. We're just going to burn it down every Friday morning and Monday morning before they play and after they play. Just tear the whole thing down. So. Preston, no, you got to get off to the elementary school, get the kids up and ready to do some reading. So good luck to you, and we look forward to talking with you on Tuesday. We get Monday off, so I look forward to seeing you back in the studio on Tuesday.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. I'll talk with y'all later.
Look forward to it. Preston Thorne off to the elementary schools this morning to work with the kids. Should be a lot of fun as he heads up to Greenville. 803-404-6100. We'll get back into a little baseball talk when we return. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
107.5 The Game on demand podcast menu. Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. If you're dealing with injuries or pain, our team is here to get you better sooner. On the home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by TrainInfo.com. Train heating and cooling systems are tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit TrainInfo.com to find your local independent Train dealer. TrainInfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
Sponsored by Take 5 Oil Change. At Take 5, they're faster than you think. Sit back while they do some spring cleaning under the hood of your car. They'll change your oil and install a new air filter faster than you can decide which unused kitchen appliance to donate next. Take 5. The stay in your car 10-minute oil change.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring correctional officers, nurses, food services, facilities maintenance, mental health professionals, law enforcement officers, teachers, and more statewide. There are sign-on bonuses for officers, food services, nurses, and law enforcement officers. South Carolina Department of Corrections has great employee benefits like 6 weeks of PTO accrued yearly and police officer retirement. Start a rewarding new career today. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
Trucks, we want trucks. New Silverados are on the ground now, and more are on the way to Herndon Chevrolet. We're taking up to $15,000 off to get you in your new truck. Stop by your hometown Chevy dealer and shop all your favorite models at prices you'll love. Find new roads at Herndon Chevrolet. or visit us online at HerndonChevy.com today.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
Carolina Honda Powerhouse is your local Honda Power Sports Superstore, and we have 2023 Honda ATVs arriving daily. When you choose a Honda ATV, you know you're riding one of the most responsive, powerful, and durable ATVs on the market today, made right here in South Carolina. Honda Ranchers, Rubicons, Foremans, and Recons in stock and ready to ride. On-road or off-road, all roads lead to Carolina Honda Powerhouse. Just take exit 70 off I-20 and turn by the Flying J, or visit CarolinaHonda.com. Honda recommends utility ATVs for riders 16 years or older and recommends that all riders take a training course.
Are you looking for a summer camp for your 5 to 14-year-old? Do you want them to experience the lifetime sports of golf, tennis, and swimming? Then the Wide World of Sports Summer Camp at the Windermere Club is just the camp for you. We offer 7 weekly Monday through Friday sessions to choose from beginning June 5th. The camp offers half-day camps, which run from 9 to noon, half-day with lunch and pool, which runs 9 to 2 p.m., and full day 9 to 4 p.m. is also available. No rainouts and no equipment necessary. We supply rackets, golf clubs, curriculum, and first-class instruction. All campers get t-shirts and they hit for prizes every Friday. The Wide World of Sports Summer Camp at the Windermere Club is a once-in-a-lifetime experience you can revisit year after year. For more information and to register, please visit sports4.life. That's sports, the number 4.life.
Sponsored by Express Employment Professionals. Take the stress out of your job search. Visit expresspros.com for jobs from a variety of industries. With more than 860 locally owned offices, the Express team is ready to help you find your next job. Go to expresspros.com.
1075 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections. South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
The earlier accident on Interstate 26 westbound has since been cleaned up, and all roadways are now open and traffic is moving along just fine. Just expect maybe a little bit of a slowdown in that area near the flyover, but overall, traffic looking pretty good as we get this Friday morning started. Now, as we push later on into the morning, hopefully it will continue to stay that way, but do know as we move into the holiday weekend, traffic will be picking up, so just pack the patience over the coming days. With your First Alert Traffic, I'm Eric Zernick with WIS News 10.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 1075 The Game. Discover Herndon Certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered. Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The Early Game with Bill Gunter, former Gamecock Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen on your home of the Gamecocks. 1075 The Game.
(803-404-6100) if you want to weigh in this morning. We'll get into again some high school playoff talk and look ahead as well to some football with Chris Deering, some high school football. South Carolina putting out an offer to a local quarterback yesterday. We'll tell you about that coming up in about 10 minutes when Chris Deering joins us for the Bow Tires High School highlights of the week, coming up again at the top of the 7 o'clock hour. Right now, though, let's get back out to the Love Chevy phone lines, or get to the Love Chevy phone lines. Larry wants to weigh in on the Raiders. Larry, what you got this morning?
Yeah, good morning. Man, I'm a lifelong Raiders fan. In fact, I was 6 years old. Me and my dad watched the Heidi game.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm pretty old. But anyways, man, I'm sure that Al Davis loved his son. But turning that team over to him was the stupidest thing that we could have ever done. And, letting Derek Carr go? Are you kidding? I think he's like a 6-time Pro Bowler. I'm pretty sure of that. It's like, and the mistake we did make last year and maybe even the year before is because the offense was falling apart around him during the play, and the man was forcing some things to happen. Occasionally it works out. A lot of times it doesn't. And that it doesn't matter if it's Derek Carr or Kenny Stabler or Terry Bradshaw. They made mistakes too. Okay. But if you had any chance of winning, that was keeping Derek Carr. And Josh McDaniel, are you kidding? Really? What in the hell were we thinking? Man, I am just, it's very hard to be Raider Nation with the, oh, we got a beautiful stadium and we're in Las Vegas. Well, it's going to be an empty stadium. Man, I wish I could say something good about my guys, but I can't. I mean, we are going to be awful this year. Garoppolo or not, and we're paying way too much, like that guy said, for an average quarterback.
Yeah, it's interesting out there. Again, just in my time, I'm 40, and the times I think I really became involved with the Raiders or began to know the Raiders when Lane Kiffin was hired, and that was kind of really, that gives you an idea. So prior to that, I mean, when I was in high school and stuff, I can't say that I was thoroughly invested, but
I'll be honest with you too. Expect Derek Carr to have some real success down in New Orleans. I have a feeling he's really going to turn that team around.
Well, look forward to seeing it.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you, and y'all have a great day now.
You too, Larry. Take care. Thank you for the phone call this morning. 803-404-6100. Boy, did not have a lot of Raiders anger on the bingo card this morning, both from Larry, who I understand, lifelong fan, has grown up with him. I can understand his problems. I was a little caught off guard, though, by Preston. How about Preston going all in on Josh McDaniel and Jimmy Garoppolo and Devontae Adams? Didn't have that one on the Friday morning bingo card. 803-404-6100 is how you can weigh in if you want to do so this morning and join us. Again, coming up in about 7 minutes, we'll be joined by Chris Deering. A lot of high school playoffs starting to wrap up or have wrapped up, I should say. So we will have to move through all of that, get you all that information. And again, want to start talking about the high school football season. Not far away. I know some spring practices are wrapping up. I know Lexington, under now first-year head coach Dustin Curtis, wrapped up on Wednesday night with their spring game. So we'll get a lot of that with Chris Deering going here in about 7 minutes. And then again, we'll get back into baseball after Chris Deering. Chris will go from about 7 to 7:30. I want you to listen to the whole interview or the whole press conference from yesterday from Mark Kingston and Jack Mahoney as we get you ready now for regionals. We'll see if South Carolina is going to host or not. It's going to be very interesting to see how the NCAA baseball committee views the season as a whole from the Gamecocks, because you look at the RPI, if you look at the record, if you just put up a blind resume and you didn't talk about how necessarily the season went in terms of the arc, going up, going back down, I think you would probably agree South Carolina's a host team. But if you take into account the last month of the season and how they've played and how things have come to a crash and burn, you go, I don't know. So how will the committee view South Carolina's season and their overall body of work? Because again, you got the sweep of Florida, who's going to be the number 2, well, is projected to be a top 3 seed. I said 2 because D1 Baseball has them as the 2 seed. But it's going to be interesting. So we'll learn more about that, obviously, over the weekend and how South Carolina is viewed. And we'll talk a lot about that on Tuesday. But I want you to hear the whole press conference, about 11 and a half minutes from Mark Kingston yesterday at SEC, at the SEC tournament. Speaking of the SEC tournament, if you want to stay involved in that, yesterday, Alabama knocking off Auburn 7-4. Arkansas took down LSU 5-4, and the Florida Gators, who I just mentioned last night, taking down Vanderbilt 6-3 in the SEC tournament. They'll pick up again today in Hoover, getting going a little bit later. Don't have the early games, and just 2 of them today. LSU and Texas A&M taking on each other at 4 o'clock, and at 7:30 it'll be Vanderbilt and Alabama. So a day of elimination games as we move into the weekend for the SEC tournament. South Carolina not a part of it, though, but we'll talk more about that again later on this morning. John Whittle set to join us as well, so we'll get more into South Carolina baseball talk. But up next, Chris Deering will join us. We'll talk with him about all the great things going on in the world of high school sports. Academic year coming to a close, just about a week and a half or less for a lot of high schools out there. Graduation's just around the corner, and it means we are concluding playoff season and looking ahead to when we'll ramp back up in August with high school football. Chris Deering due up next on the high school highlights of the week. You're listening to Bill Gunner, producer Ed Bird here in studio, handling everything. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is Gamecock kicker Mitch Jeter. You're listening to the home of Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
A Cumulus media station.
Not even the most well-kept homes are immune to termites. So call Dodson Pest Control. With over 75 years of experience, they will make sure your home is looking good inside and outside your walls. Visit DodsonBROS.com to find an office near you. Dodson, the pest professionals you trust.
Playing hard left you with sore muscles? Consider cryotherapy. Embraced by athletes at the highest levels, cryotherapy is known for reducing inflammation while stimulating rapid recovery. It strengthens your immune system, increases metabolism, boosting your energy, not to mention cognitive clarity, for days.
Feel better than you thought possible in just 3 to 4 minutes with cryotherapy. Schedule an appointment at Icebox Cryotherapy at 4609 Forest Drive.
Are you a commercial electrician looking for new opportunities? DNB Electric of Lexington, South Carolina is known for excellence, and they're hiring. With an exceptional health package, generous PTO, opportunities for overtime, and many other benefits, it's easy to see how DNB Electric has become a leader in the Columbia area. Be a part of their explosive growth. Join the leader. Check them out at dnbelectric.com/careers. That's dnbelectric.com/careers. DNB Electric is an equal opportunity employer.
Are you looking for a summer camp for your 5 to 14-year-old? Do you want them to experience the lifetime sports of golf, tennis, and swimming? Then the Wide World of Sports Summer Camp at the Windermere Club is just the camp for you. We offer 7 weekly Monday through Friday sessions to choose from beginning June 5th. The camp offers half-day camps, which run from 9 to noon, half-day with lunch and pool, which runs 9 to 2 p.m., and full-day 9 to 4 p.m. is also available. No rainouts and no equipment necessary. We supply rackets, golf clubs, curriculum, and first-class instruction. All campers get t-shirts and they hit for prizes every Friday. The Wide World of Sports Summer Camp at the Windermere Club is a once-in-a-lifetime experience you can revisit year after year. For more information and to register, please visit sports4.life. That's sports, the number 4.life.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Ricardo, quote, "This is one of the greatest inventions ever. I know this may sound like I'm exaggerating, but this sucker is amazing. The first time I did it, I couldn't believe what came out of my sinuses. I could breathe with ease. My wife just bought one too. Thank you for this product," unquote. He's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game. Sponsored by the Power of Love Chevrolet. Celebrating the Chevy Silverado. For the first time in history, the #1 selling retail full-size pickup in America. Come by and feel the power of love. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads. The early game with Bill Gunter.
South Carolina receiver Juice Wells and his dog Sosa have signed an NIL deal with the Farmer's Dog. It's a brand of, I don't have a
highfalutin dog food.
Dog Sosa needs to go on a diet.
He's not that.
Have you seen this dog?
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
So in that commercial, I don't think Sosa really enjoyed that commercial much because he has to run up a hill, and I don't know if he was very happy about running up that hill. The dog food must be tremendous.
And Jen Jensen.
He ran up the hill because there was a cupcake at the top of the hill. That's what it was.
Shout out to Sosa.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
The theme of this show. I don't know what happened.
107.5 The Game.
$7:01 on your Friday morning commute. We head into Memorial Day weekend. So, of course, we will be off on Monday and be back with you starting Tuesday morning, getting you ready for baseball regionals and really just heading into summer as the high school calendar also coming to a close. I believe next week for a majority of schools, I would guess. I can only speak for my kids who go to Gilbert and that Lexington 1 calendar. Next week, the last week of school. I know that this is really the last full day Friday that they have. I believe it's next Thursday and Friday or half days out there. So we are at that time of year where we start to make the transition. We go from the end of the 2022-2023 academic and athletic calendar, and we start preparing for the 2023-2024 academic and athletic calendar. And joining us, as he does each and every Friday, to discuss that and now start to take kind of a last look at what has occurred this year. Maybe we'll do that more next Friday, kind of a full year in review and get Chris's top teams and best moments and top players across the board. But this week, Chris, we're wrapping up high school baseball, high school softball, a lot of Midlands teams claiming some championships, playing for championships. And I'll start you with River Bluff, Thomas Powell, Gamecock commitment, or I guess now a Gamecock signee. Bo Hollins, the son of Dave Hollins, doing some big things. And River Bluff takes home the state championship this week.
Yeah, that was a great series with Blythewood. Two really good games, competitive games. River Bluff winning their first baseball state championship in school history. You know, the school's only been around 10 years, and this was the third time they had played for it. And one of those seasons, you know, they didn't get to complete because of COVID. So that's a pretty good accomplishment for Mark Monette and his staff and what they've built over there. But yeah, you just named off some kids. Bo Hollins ended up the year with 18 home runs. He hit one in the clinching game on Wednesday against Blythewood. River Bluff won that game 9-7. But I'll tell you a name that probably gets overlooked when you look at that River Bluff team. But man, what a championship series Andrew Vaughn had. Pitcher out of the bullpen, senior. The kid did everything in the series. He picked up a save on Monday and a 2-0 win. And then on Wednesday, we thought we were being for a slugfest. It was 7-6 after the first two innings, and one team, Blythewood, had a grand slam. Bo Hollins, like I said, he hit his 18th home run, had a 3-run shot in the second inning, and it looked like it was just going to be back and forth. But Landon Penfield, the Blythewood starter, he settled in after that a little bit, and River Bluff turned to the pen and went back to Vaughn after he picked up the save on Monday, and he pitched the final 5 innings, actually 5 2/3 innings, allowed one hit and quieted those Blythewood bats, didn't give up another run, and that allowed allowed River Bluff to, get in place to win it, and it was tied going into the 7th, 7-7, and a couple of miscues by Blythewood benefited River Bluff, and they took advantage of them, and Coach Bonnet got to host that championship trophy for the first time ever, and I know that was a great feeling for him and his family, and it was just good to be out there and see. One thing I love to see these kids compete, man, and both of those teams competed their hearts out, and pretty close to one of the Blythewood players. Talked to him afterwards. He was very heartbroken, but talked to a lot of the River Bluff players as well, and that's the flip side of it. They get to celebrate a championship. So just a great ending to a baseball season that had a lot of good teams here in the Midlands. Those ended up being the only two that actually, I'll tell you about Gray Collegiate played Oceanside in the 2A championship and lost it in 2 games. So really a great season in baseball here in the Midlands, and it always is, and I think that leads to the coaching you have in this area and just the type of talent that these kids are. And we get Bo Hollins one more year. He's only a junior. Thomas Powell, like you said, will be going off to South Carolina next year. So it'll be interesting to see what River Bluff can bring back. They got some pieces. I know that. Their shortstop's going to Coastal Carolina, Walker Mitchell. So he was really good too. Just a great series. I was glad to get out there for both of those games and close out the baseball season this year.
Kind of give us a rundown. I believe you were saying 4 of the 5 state championships in baseball have been complete, and then 2 of 5 in softball. I know Catawba Ridge and I believe it was Somerville have won state championships in softball. So kind of give us the rundown there right now of the baseball, what's complete and where we stand here. Also, I think you've got Hammond and Augusta Christian in baseball. I don't know. Was that one complete or did Augusta?
Yeah, last Monday, Augusta Christian won the 4A Kiesel Championship over Hammond. Didn't get to go over to that game because I was at River Bluff, Blythewood that night, but competitive game. It sort of got away from Hammond there at the end, but great job by that program as well. You know, a lot of people didn't think after losing Tucker Toman last year that they had the pieces to get back to another state championship, but they did and just came up one game short. They lost that series 2-1 to Augusta Christian. So good showing by Hammond as well this year. Dylan Richardson, I think, was their ace on the staff, and I think he's going to college at Charleston, if I'm not mistaken, to play baseball. So again, great run by them. But if you look back at the public schools, 4 of the 5 championship series ended up to be sweeps. We already talked about River Bluff. Clinton defeated Hanahan in 3A. Hanahan knocked out Brooklyn Casey last Friday. They had to play the second game, the what-if game, and Brooklyn Casey just didn't have enough left in the tank to get to the state championship series. So Clinton was able to win that one. We already mentioned Oceanside over Gray in a sweep. Southside Christian swept Lakeview. The only one remaining, and it's supposed to be played tonight, weather permitting, is 4A, and you got North Myrtle Beach and Catawba Ridge. That's to be played at Hartsville tonight. So that'll complete the baseball season. And then, you mentioned softball. Somerville won 5A. Catawba Ridge won 4A, and then the rest of the series are tied at 1-1, and they are supposed to play tonight. In 3A, you have Aner and Crescent. They're play at White Knoll tonight. Mid Carolina and Chesterfield will play at where are they playing? They're playing at USC actually, and Louisville and Hannah Tampico are to play at McBee. So those series are tied at 1-1. Like I said, weather permitting, they get those games in tonight. That will pretty much cap the high school season. That will be the last sporting events of the year. Like I said, only one more week of school left for the kids, and I know a lot of graduations have already started happening here in Columbia, and so it's wrapping up.
Quickly, you've also got north-south rosters, I believe, here for baseball is what I'm looking at that you tweeted out. Kind of thoughts on those and anybody in particular in the Midlands that you want to give a shout out to if you've got that north-south roster. I believe that Lou Bijak put out the games. Games are set for Tuesday and Wednesday of this coming week, correct?
Yeah, correct. This coming week, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you look at those teams, man, there is a lot of talent on both sides of the select teams, especially on both sides of the ball. You know, locally, you got Carew Bates made it. I think he's going to college at Charleston as well. From AC Flora, Carew Bates, he's just a great all-around athlete. He's quarterback on the football team. Played baseball for 4 years, I know, for Andy Hallett at AC Flora. Tyler Floyd from Lexington made it. Another kid, Grant Loggins, who made it. He's from AC Flora as well. Walker Mitchell, who we just mentioned, from River Bluff, going to Coastal Carolina. He's on the South team. Thomas Powell, who we mentioned. I was talking to Thomas's dad after the game on Wednesday, and Thomas is actually playing for the Lexington County Blowfish this summer. And they opened the season tonight, which I think is what I saw on Twitter yesterday. It's actually sold out. And Thomas's dad was joking and said, "Yeah, I believe he'll be at practice tomorrow and ready to play on Friday night." I'm gonna be honest. I won the state championship on Wednesday. I'm probably not going to practice on Thursday. But that's the type of kid Thomas is, and I'm sure he probably did go to practice yesterday, and so he will play for the Blowfish this summer. And also play in a select game next week. Hayden Thomas, Brooklyn Casey, another kid on that South squad, and so that'll be a good series of games next week. On the north side, not quite as many local kids in it. Brent Stooks, great collegiate, really great pitcher for them. He had a great season. He was their ace, and then Corbin Wright from Airport. He's another local kid that made it. Big bat in the lineup. I know can hit for power, hit for average. So that's two great teams. And I missed one more local, Brent Gibbs from Spring Valley. So might try to get over there. I do think they play those games during the day, so I don't know if I can break away and get to much of them, but I'm trying to get over there and see a little bit of that action next week.
So those are the North-South All-Star games set Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Where are they taking place? I think you just said it.
I don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty certain it's Lexington High School.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I'll get an update on that here to confirm that. But congratulations to all those players. 803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in. When we come back, let's get into a little bit of high school football, both prep red zones, some of the things y'all are doing there on the website, but also spring practices wrapping up. We'll get into a little bit of information there on what you're seeing and a offer put out to a local standout 2025 quarterback, I believe. We'll tell you about that when we come back. Chris Deering hanging around with us this morning, giving us the breakdown on the high school highlights, high school season wrapping up for baseball. But I tell you what, Chris, we're just months away from high school football kicking off, and we'll get into that a little bit when we come back. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Gotta take.
Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line.
Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen.
803-404-6100.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
It's actually going to be cold. What is going on with the weather? Does anybody have an answer for that? For all we talk about here, can anybody explain this weather here in late May? Normally it's like 90s and humidity's incredible and your air conditioner better be working. Tomorrow, it looks like your heat better be working. The high, at least the last time I saw, was right around 60. It's Memorial Day weekend. It's windy out there. It's been rainy. Well, it's going to change. We all know that. Maybe a lot of you out there are enjoying it because you know those famously hot days of the Columbia summer are just around the corner. And if your air conditioner has been on the fritz a little bit, been clinking and clunking, and you're a little concerned about it, and you don't want to come home one day after a long day at work and find out that the air conditioner's gone out, it's time to call AAA Heating and Air. Get them out to your house, do a maintenance, do an inspection, but maybe most importantly, get a brand new unit because there's no better time than right now. Call AAA Heating and Air's Comfort Advisors today, 803-677-1500, and see how the Inflation Reduction Act that can save you $3,800 in tax credits. See how you can take advantage of it. So call AAA Heating and Air today. You can speak with the Comfort Advisors and get comfort in your home as soon as tomorrow with that phone call today, 803-677-1500. And the best part, AAA Heating and Air is ready to help their customers. They offer you a $1,500 rebate to buy back your old unit. So between the tax credits and the rebate, you could save as much as $5,300. On top of that, they've got a 15-year parts and labor warranty guaranteeing that heating and air unit is going to continue working for quite some time. And they guarantee financing. Good credit, bad credit, whatever. AAA Heating and Air is in the business of helping families, and that's how they go about doing it. Call the Comfort Advisors at AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500. Call AAA Heating and Air today. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute, sponsored by Wrangler. It's Wrangler season out there. Shop Wrangler.com for new denim styles. Sadly, only 25% of the NFL values its fans above appeasing Amazon, which wants to flex Sunday games to Thursday nights now. Giants president John Mara called that abusive. The Jets, Packers, Bears, Raiders, Lions, Bengals, and Steelers all agreed. Shame on the others. I agree as well. I'm Boomer Esiason.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights, open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
I had a nighttime routine for my frequent heartburn. I would drink milk, I would sleep upright with more pillows, but that painful burning stayed. So I made Prilosec OTC part of my morning routine. With just one pill each morning, Prilosec OTC prevents excess acid production, blocking heartburn day and night. Now I have a new nighttime routine. I call it sleeping.
One pill a day, 24 hours, zero heartburn.
With Prilosec OTC, it's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Do you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes? Good news. There's a new way out. It's called the Fresh Start Initiative. Call U.S. Tax Shield, A+ rated with the BBB. 800-391-5063 for your free consultation and let U.S. Tax Shield protect you from the IRS.
Sponsored by Mattress Firm. Make your summer getaway a new bed during Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale. Save up to 60% with queens starting at just $169.99. Plus, save up to $500 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable base mattress sets and get a $300 instant gift.
Hi, my husband and I own a small business in Columbia, and we ended up needing some help with some tax problems that we had and needed to get resolved. We initially owed about $300,000, and John Ecton and his law firm ended up getting us an offer in compromise, which dramatically reduced the amount owed. I would personally recommend the Ecton law firm. They did an excellent job for us, and if this is a concern that you're facing, they're definitely the people you should call.
It's great to know we have changed people's lives for the better. Hi, this is local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. For over a decade, our office has been dedicated to helping hardworking individuals and businesses solve tax problems for good. So if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call our office today at 771-9800 or go to EctonLawFirm.com. That's ECTON lawfirm.com. Let's get your tax problem solved for good. Call today. You'll be glad you did.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-568-2790. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-568-2790. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-568-2790. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-568-2790. 800-568-2790.
Mix a little sports analysis, pop culture, and great interviews, and you've got the Rich Eisen Show podcast.
And we say hello to the new number 8 of the New York Jets, because Aaron Rodgers is going back to school. A little triple Lindy wearing his old cow number, diving into the New York Jets pool, which, as we all know,
Is filled with riptides everywhere. You have no idea. And that's normally for the ocean, but nothing ever makes sense for the Jets, ever. The Rich Eisen Show podcast, wherever you listen.
Sponsored by TrainInfo.com. Train heating and cooling systems are tested, retested, engineered, and re-engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit TrainInfo.com to find your local independent Train dealer. TrainInfo.com. It's hard to stop a train.
107.5 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
The earlier accident on Interstate 26 westbound has since been cleaned up, and all roadways are now open and traffic is moving along just fine. Just expect maybe a little bit of a slowdown in that area near the flyover, but overall traffic looking pretty good as we get this Friday morning started now as we push later on into the morning. Hopefully it will continue to stay that way, but do know as we move into the holiday weekend, traffic will be picking up, so just pack the patience over the coming days. With your First Alert Traffic, I'm Eric Zernick with WIS News 10.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The early game
With Bill Gunter, former Gamecock Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
$720. On a Friday morning, Bill Gunner, producer Ed Bird, and joined, as we are each and every Friday, by Chris Deering for the high school highlights of the week. We were discussing the baseball and softball championship series, the winners, also the North-South game. And now, boy, Chris, it feels like not too long ago we were discussing high school football season and all the great players, the great coaches, the great fan bases. Before you know it, we're going to be discussing it again. It is spring football season, really. I know Dustin Curtis and Lexington wrapped up on Wednesday. So you've had all this going on. But let's start with a little South Carolina news. An offer extended over yesterday, actually. I was going to say during the week, but it was yesterday, to Richland Northeast quarterback Will Wilson, the son of the head coach there. Give us a little bit of breakdown on this 2025 prospect.
Yeah, I know going into last season, on Prep Red Zone, I actually rated Will Wilson as our top quarterback here in the area. Obviously, he didn't disappoint in what he did last season. Super rated 1,800 yards. I think he ran for 700. I counted for about 28 touchdowns and picked up a South Carolina offer yesterday. He's already had several Division I offers, North Carolina State, TCU, Virginia Tech, Duke, Penn State is among some of the others. Like I said, son of Walt Wilson, if that name sounds familiar to a lot of people in this area, Walt was the high school football coach of one Alshon Jeffrey at Calhoun County. And watching Will Wilson develop, he started as a freshman at Richland Northeast. He's going into his junior year this upcoming season. And he's just developed really, really good, really rapidly. And I think the sky's the limit for this kid. He's one of the best that's come through the Midlands in a long time at the quarterback position. And he's gonna do a lot of great things. And didn't get out in any spring practices like I wanted to this spring. But like I said, all those are wrapped up now. I think some had to wait for some baseball players maybe. And I think Hammond was one of them. But most spring practices are pretty certain they're wrapped up at this point. Like I said, only 1 week of school left. And next week, not next week, 2 weeks from now, they will start summer workouts. And that includes a lot of 7-on-7 tournaments around the state at various different locations. And then I think USC will be hosting 7-on-7 several weekends coming up. I've looked at some team schedules and I've noticed where they have USC marked down for quite a few weekends. So it'll be a fun time this summer. You get out to see some kids in a different environment than with the pad zone. And again, I've thought about that before. I'm a big fan of putting the pads on and seeing what you can do. But, I think the 7-on-7 is part of where we are. I do think some teams maybe want to win 7-on-7 more than want to win a state football championship, but I don't quite understand that mindset. But it's all about development and getting better and getting timing down with your teammates. And that's all good to help you get better for the season. And like I said, looking forward to seeing a lot of these kids this summer. I will probably try to get over USC a couple of times, and then I know Lower Richland is hosting a big one coming up, 7-on-7 tournament, and Blythewood usually hosts a big one. So I'll probably get out to those and see what we can see. But yeah, great offer for Will Wilson. South Carolina offered 3 quarterbacks yesterday. Ryan Montgomery out of Findlay, Ohio was the other one, and Deuce Knight from Mississippi. And another kid that we talked about last year, but they've offered another quarterback here in the Midlands, but not as a quarterback, more as an athlete. AJ Brand from Irmo also has a South Carolina offer. He's also a class of 2025 kid. So 2 more years of AJ Brand and Will Wilson, a quarterback here in the Midlands, ought to be pretty good statewide going forward.
One thing about that's interesting is that both are coaches' sons. I think what is
Correct.
it? Yeah, that to me, obviously South Carolina has Dante Reno coming in for this. For the 2024 class. Reno, the son of Yale head coach Tony Reno, and now you look like you're bringing I don't know your opinion, just in your years doing it. The hit rate or what you've seen from coaches' sons that have come through. I'm trying to think just for South Carolina in-state. Casey Crosby obviously was a coach's son down there in Bamberg. I think KC is coaching somewhere now.
He's coaching. Yeah, I think he's at Bamberg, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Is there other? Can you think of a few other coaches' sons that you've seen come to either South Carolina, Clemson that have really excelled?
Yes, C.J. Fry.
Yeah,
from Irmo, played in South Carolina. His dad is the legendary track coach at South Carolina. Who else has been coaches' sons? That's a great question.
Just something to think about there if you do it. I'm not offering content, but it's interesting and to see obviously, and both Brand and Wilson again have been around. I know Walt has been around for a long time. Like you said, when I was working for the Big Spur, spoke with him a great deal during the recruitments of the Jeffrey boys and so forth and so on. So I know Coach Wilson's been around a long time, but it's a pretty interesting little thing there. What can we look for on Prep Red Zone here as we go through the summer with some of the content that we put out?
I'm gonna give you another name that someone just texted me while we were talking, Bill. Hunter Renfro from Socastee.
Oh, okay.
His dad was the coach over there as well. So I appreciate the listeners out there helping us out whenever I get to a roadblock.
Well, and of course, everybody's favorite coach's son that's come through, Connor Shaw. Now, that's out of the state of Georgia, but obviously Connor played for us. But it's a great way of making inroads, making friendships, relationships in the state, obviously. And these are two players, by the way, in Wilson and Brand that are good players that don't need their father being their coach, but they're good players to begin with, and especially Will Wilson, as you mentioned. But real quick, you said 6'1", 190. What do you expect? Again, you mentioned he's got 2 years on Will Wilson. How big do you expect him to end up getting?
I mean, he'd probably end up, 6'3", over 200 pounds. I know AJ Brand, I talked to his dad over at the soccer championships a couple of weeks ago, and he's pretty excited about what Irmo's got this year. They got the running back transfer from Gilbert, Jaden Allen Hendricks, and you put him in the backfield with Brand. You got a couple of 220-pounders that defenses have to tackle all night. He's looking forward to taking advantage of that. But, I mean, don't get me wrong. South Carolina's committed AJ Brand or offered AJ Brand as an athlete. He is a pretty decent quarterback. He can throw it all over the field. I saw him a couple times last year, and so he's a good quarterback. But he's a great athlete. He started on the basketball team who won a state championship. So I expect for both of those kids, I expect really good things the next 2 seasons. I know high on my list to go see Will Wilson early this season, maybe even in these jamborees when they start in August. But I want to see Will. I didn't actually see him play last year as a sophomore. I saw him as a freshman, so I need to get out and see him play as a junior this year. And he's high on my list to see early, just because of all the offers he has. But back to Prep Red Zone, like we mentioned it last week a little bit. Every region in the state, we're gonna name every team's MVP by region, and we've already rolled out several regions on the website. I haven't done mine yet. I think I have 6 regions to preview, but I'm planning on getting started on mine next week. This will take us through the month of June. Great content, because you're not getting this anywhere else in the state where we're talking football in June. A lot of people will start picking it up, mid to late July, but we could talk football all June long. USC probably, and this is a conservative estimate, I would say, you'll see 10 to 12 posts per week, probably closer to 18 to 20 on our website every week this summer, with previews coming up. We'll go by each region, name every team's MVP, and then after that, we'll follow up with team previews in July and going into August. And August, it's wide open, and you start full-time practice and jamborees and scrimmages, and mid-August, I think when I played, we didn't start football until around Labor Day, but they start mid-August now, and it'll be here before you know it. It's going to be a quick summer. It's a quick turnaround, and taking a break, breathing a little bit for myself. I just finished year 34, which is hard for me to even say. That I've been doing this for 34 years. Never thought this would be such a huge part of my adult life. but it has been, and enjoyed every minute of it. So looking forward to year 35 starting in August, and it's in my blood. I don't know what else to do when football season rolls around, and it keeps me busy till the end of May, and I love it, and I hope my passion comes across to the listeners out there, and what we do it for these kids, and we keep doing it, and we got a great group of people at Prep Red Zone, and we just can't, we can't wait to get all this content out to you guys and be able to enjoy it as you enjoy your summer, but get ready for football season in August.
Chris, we appreciate everything you do. Next week, we will just kind of recap the entire year that was. So if you got a few standout players, some standout teams, some standout moments, we will do all that next week with you as we officially wrap it up for the 2022-2023 athletic high school season. And again, we appreciate you joining us, taking time out of your day each and every Friday to keep us updated and give a little shout out to all the coaches, the players, the parents, everybody involved in high school athletics that makes it such a fun event here in this state.
All right, appreciate it, Bill. You have a great long weekend, and let's wrap it up next week. And I'm gonna do a little research. I hope Preston is around next week.
He will.
We need to schedule that hour in studio. I'm gonna do a little research next week about some numbers for public versus private and charter schools and see what I can come up with.
Yeah, we've got that coming up in a couple of weeks. We definitely will get to that. Appreciate again all you do, buddy, and have a great Memorial Day weekend.
You too. Thank
you. Chris Deering joining us as he does each and every Friday, the high school highlights of the week. We come back. I will get that audio from Mark Kingston. We'll let you listen to his press conference in its entirety yesterday, about 11 and a half minutes. Let you hear what he had to say. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
We appreciate you listening to 107.5 The Game. And because you are a loyal listener, you might have noticed the last few weeks that the game hasn't sounded as strong coming through your speakers. Or you all of a sudden can't pick up the station in certain places around the Midlands. Well, a few weeks ago, our main transmitter was damaged during a storm. It'll still be a few more weeks until we get the parts to have it fixed. So, if you're having issues listening to 107.5 The Game, we encourage you to go to iTunes or the Google Play Store and download our app. In a couple of clicks, you'll be hearing the game loud and clear. Thanks again for your patience and for listening to 107.5 The Game.
You want to have a nice, clean pool to come home to each and every day during the summer because, as we've talked about, Columbia, the famously hot days, well, they lead to you coming home in the afternoon wanting to relax and enjoy your pool. Get a little jump in, dive in, do your cannonball, whatever your great dive into the pool is. You're going to want to enjoy it this summer. But if you've got some pollen still in there, some leaves, you got issues with algae, it's time to call the expert, the man, Corley Pool Solutions. Tracy Corley, with over 20 years of experience in maintaining pools, and he believes in providing the absolute highest quality swimming pool service at the most affordable price to you and your family. Make the phone call today and line up that maintenance. 803-445-8109. Tracy Corley and his team will treat and maintain your pool, and they'll do it for a flat rate cost, including all of the chemicals. And that's what's important, because you can go to the pool store and you can ballpark what you need and you can try to figure out which chemicals you need. But you know what? It's actually more affordable to use Corley Pool Solutions than it is for you to try and do it yourself. Find out today. Call Tracy Corley and Corley Pool Solutions, 803-445-8109. Again, that phone number, 803-445-8109. Make the phone call today. Get Corley Pool Solutions out. Have that pool maintained and cleaned. Make sure it's looking beautiful. You're ready to use it. Your kids are ready to use it. Don't come home to a dirty pool. Have Corley Pool Solutions there, maintaining it weekly. 803-445-8109. That's Corley Pool Solutions.
Playing hard left you with sore muscles? Consider cryotherapy. Embraced by athletes at the highest levels, cryotherapy is known for reducing inflammation while stimulating rapid recovery. It strengthens your immune system, increases metabolism, boosting your energy, not to mention cognitive clarity, for days.
Feel better than you thought possible in just 3 to 4 minutes with cryotherapy. Schedule an appointment at Icebox Cryotherapy at 4609 Forest Drive.
Hey Gamecock fans, Ben Cato here to invite you to shop the Cato's Power Equipment Memorial Day Sale, happening May 24th, 25th, and 26th. We'll be saving you the sales tax. That means 8% off your Toro push mowers, Gravely Zero turns, or just a chain for your steel chainsaw. As a special thanks to our active and retired military members, we'll be stacking our everyday 5% military discount. That's up to 13% off your new Moore or any parts to keep your old one running like new. May 24th through 26th at Cato's Power Equipment.
Millions of small business owners like Leanna Lynn choose Spectrum Business.
Spectrum Business Services are essential to our business.
Call 855-282-FAST to choose Spectrum Business for your business. Get fast, reliable internet starting at $49.99 per month and the Spectrum Business Connect phone system with video conferencing for just $19.99 per month to get a free mobile line for 1 year.
I cannot live without it.
Call 855-282-FAST to choose Spectrum Business today. Restrictions apply. Services not available in all areas.
Gotta go to Galliana. Interest rates are going up all over town, but Galliana Chrysler Jeep has rates going down, down, down. Now you can finance new Jeeps at 0% APR at Galliana Chrysler Jeep on Greystone. Or you can buy now and pay later with no payments all summer long. And exclusive of that offer, new Jeeps, savings up to 22% off. Yes, 22% off a new Jeep. Lease a new Grand Cherokee, Wrangler, or Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid and save over $11,000. Plus, we'll take any trade in any condition. All trade-ins are welcome. New Jeeps, 22% off, 0% financing, or no payments all summer long. It's Jeep season at Galliana Chrysler Jeep on Greystone. I-126 Zoo exit in Columbia. Call 779-7300 or GallianaSC.com. Max savings on renegade stock number 28520 plus tax and tax. Includes $225 closing fee. To qualified buyers, $27.77 per month per thousand borrowed for 36 months at 0 APR with 0 down. Dealer rebates up to $400 per month till September. Subject to loan approval. Offers open buying expires not that.
You can pick out every detail of your remodel.
That one. Or that one?
That one. No, wait, that one. But you never really know what it will look like until...
Well...
not what I imagined. CHW Cabinetry understands. Not being able to visualize what your new space will look like can be stressful, but our photorealistic renderings leave nothing to the imagination, and our job site book makes sure everyone's on the same page. Literally, learn more at chwcabinetry.com. CHW Cabinetry. Passion from inspiration to installation.
Family is comfort. It's care. It's a safe place. It seems when you need help, you can always count on family. At Broom Heating, Air, and Electrical, they are a family you can depend on and have been for 53 years. Heating and air is their passion. Customer service is their pleasure. And when Broom Heating, Air, and Electrical are in your home, your family is theirs. For an appointment, call 803-754-9409 or visit their website at broomheating.com.
It's the Love Chevrolet Countdown to Gamecock Football.
99 days till kickoff.
Winner of Chevrolet's Mark of Excellence Award for Best in-Class Customer Experience. Maybe that's what Love customers love so much about Love Chevy. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads.
107.5 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
The earlier accident on Interstate 26 westbound has since been cleaned up and all roadways are now open and traffic is moving along just fine. Just expect maybe a little bit of a slowdown in that area near the flyover, but overall traffic looking pretty good as we get this Friday morning started now as we push later on into the morning. Hopefully it will continue to stay that way, but do know as we move into the holiday weekend, traffic will be picking up, so just pack the patience over the coming days. With your First Alert Traffic, I'm Eric Zernick with WIS News 10.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
Yesterday, South Carolina dropping a 5-0 decision to Texas A&M to wrap up their SEC tournament appearance. Now we wait for what the NCAA selection committee will deem appropriate for South Carolina. Will they host? Will they go on the road? Now, I want you to listen. I didn't want to just play clips and play select clips. I want you to hear the whole thing. This is Mark Kingston and Jack Mahoney yesterday after the baseball game. Here is the full press conference after South Carolina's 5-0 loss to Texas A&M.
Tip our cap to Texas A&M and Slosh. I think what they've done this week now solidifies them going to the NCAA tournament, and I know they had some concerns about that. So a lot of respect for them and how they go about their business. So I think they've earned their way in pretty comfortably at this point. So I want to tip my cap to them. They were better than us today.
Okay, there are questions for Jack. Please raise your hand. Over on the right.
Jack, just physically, how did you feel bumping up a couple days in rest and in that fourth inning? Just what happened with those two walks and then the big inning there?
Yeah, I just lost a little gas today. Pre-game knew I really wasn't going to have much in the tank as I usually would like, but it's not an excuse. Those two walks, you can't have back-to-back walks to lead off an inning. It's just not acceptable, and that's what just kind of came back to bite me today in the outing. And obviously Beck threw really well. Veach, was good to see him back out there, and just didn't have as much as in the tank as I usually do and as I'd like today. But just got to get back to work. Got 8 days to get this thing right. So.
Also on the far right.
Jack, you've been very vocal about the camaraderie of this team. What do you say over the next week as y'all get prepared for the NCAA tournament to kind of guide these guys?
No, I mean, Coach King just made it very clear in the dugout that we're going to have to earn it over this next week. And starting Monday, life isn't going to be that easy. Around Founders, we're going to have to earn it, put our faces back in the mud a little bit, just get back to doing what made us successful early in the year and play with a chip on our shoulder. So like I said, we've got 8 days to get this thing right, get healthy, and get this chip back on our shoulder, because obviously we're going to need it. And, new season starts on Monday or Friday.
All right. Over here on the right again.
Jack, you talked a lot after that Tennessee series about this being a really good baseball team and getting hot at the right time. How confident are you that you have these 8 days to get this thing right, and how confident are you this team will be able to do that?
Yeah, we'll see. This team spent a lot of time around each other and kind of seen each other every day for the past couple months, and it's a tight group, man. And we're not going to stop doing what we do. Obviously today, got our butts kicked pretty good, but we respond pretty well usually. And like I said, over the next 8 days, it's going to be really important to get our mojo back. And Coach King and the coaches are going to put in a really good plan to get us back on track. So just got to put our noses back to the grindstone and get back to doing what makes us the best.
Any more questions for Jack? If not, Jack, thank you for your time. All right, any questions for Coach? Please raise your hand. On the far right.
Mark, I know you said before the tournament you're confident in the team's hosting resume. Just where do you stand with that now? But still believe the same with this team?
Yeah, I think if you look at the full picture, if you look at everything in totality, yes, absolutely. If I had watched us over the last few weeks, I would say, yeah, I understand why there are concerns. So I'm not going to stand up here and bang the table for why I think we should be a host. I think the numbers speak for themselves very loudly. If all the games matter, if a game in March is important as a game in April, is important in May, then yes, it's pretty clear the metrics scream that we should be a host. If we're not, I think that's a penalty to the SEC, and it's a penalty to us for saying that there's too many teams that are good enough to host in the league, and we're not going to reward all the teams that have earned it. If that's the case, then I think that's a topic for another day.
All right, down on the left.
Yeah, you sort of answered what I was going to say, but the Big 12 may not have any host. Pac-12 may only have one. The SEC sitting here we had 9 contenders coming into the week. We still certainly have 8 at least. Just your thoughts on a committee's got to make a decision and then go back to their constituents and explain it. With you guys in the SEC trying to get that final spot, just what's your perspective on that?
So you want me to sell it, in other words?
Well,
after I said I would.
What's your opinion of it?
Here's what I'll say, Mark. Again, every student athlete across the country is important and valued. Everyone deserves the opportunities to earn everything that can be earned in the NCAA. And so an SEC athlete, they should not be penalized for being on one of the teams that deserves and has earned a spot in the NCAA tournament. And if it's a spot to host, if it's a spot to host supers, just because of the conference affiliation, it shouldn't hurt you good or bad. If you're one of the best 16 teams, I think these student athletes have earned it and deserve it. Wherever you are, whatever uniform you put on, if you've earned it, then you should get it. It's that simple. And so whether you're in the, out west, whether you're in the Southeast, Are we rewarding the teams that have earned it, or are we trying to spread it around? I think at the end of the day, has to be asked, what is the motivation? I know there's the people on that committee will work very hard and will be very diligent to try to make good decisions, because I think they've earned the right to be on that committee and they care about our sport. But again, if you're rewarding the best teams that have earned it since February, 17th or 18th, then I think you should put the 16 teams that have the most metrics. If the metrics matter, then let's use the metrics. If the RPI matters, let's use it. If strength of schedule matters, let's use it. If quadrant 1 wins matter, let's use it. If last 10 matters and that's against us, fine. But if you're using it, use it. Use it all. Use it all and come up with the best 16.
Yeah, on the right.
You've obviously had a lot of guys out of the lineup over the course of the last month, but offensively, it's not been very good for you guys. How concerned are you that this is just what the offense is for the rest of the year?
Well, concerned is we don't have time to be concerned. We have to get to work and try to recapture that magic, John. We just do. We have to get Cassis going like he was going when he was carrying us. And we've got to get Wimmer healthy back on the field on defense and playing with the swagger that he had when we were rolling. We need to get Petrie dominating games again. We need to get Brewer back in a good streak. We need to get all those guys that were really important to make us an elite team. We need to get them back going all at once. And we've got one last week to figure it out. Thank God we're not sitting here trying to justify why we should get in the NCAA tournament. We're going to be there, and whether it's at home or whether it's on the road, we've got 1 week to figure it out and try to get those guys going. Because when we're going, then we can really get it done. Right now, we're not going.
On the second row on the right.
You mentioned you have 1 week to get these guys going. What goes into kind of a crash course on trying to maybe fix a whole offense in a week? How do you go about making that happen?
Well, it won't be a crash course. I don't want it to seem like we're going to try to insert the wishbone offense here in a pass happy offense. We just need guys healthy. We need Cole back. We need Wimmer on the field. We need those things. Clearly, we need those things to be our best team. So we hope that 7 more days, and Wimmer has been DHing for I don't know how many games. It feels like a long time. We're going to, unless the doctors tell us we can't, we're going to put him back out there on the field and let that spark us. We just need to get them healthy. We need to let them catch their breath a little bit, and hope that our bats get a little bit quicker because we're a little more rested. We need to get their minds confident again. Because it's when you struggle like this, there's going to be some bouts with how's my confidence. And so we're going to have to walk a fine line as coaches of getting back to the basics and making sure we have our foundation taken care of, but also do enough of confidence building through earning it this week of work, so that when we take the field on Friday, we look like that team that was there for 45 games.
In the back right.
Thank you. What will be your routine this week once you get back to Columbia, and what are your expectations for availability from Messina, McGillis, and Sanders moving forward?
You want our entire itinerary for the week there, Phil? Our routine? We're going to get to work. I'll put it that way. We're going to get to work. And because there's less NCAA rules now, generally there's hours throughout the week. There's less restrictions on teams now that school's out. So we will take advantage of having more time to be together. We will take advantage of more times to go to work, more time to get in the weight room properly. We will do all those things. Second part of your question was anticipation of the injuries. Again, Cole was at the hotel today. Cole was not in the dugout with us today. That's a concern. We need Cole back there. Now, French, I would say French had the best day catching that he has had probably in 2 months today. I was very happy to see that he stepped up for us behind the plate. But when we're at our best, Cole's the heartbeat of this team. We need him leading us. We need Wimmer out there in the middle of the field helping to lead our defense. We just need these things. And so I'm going to say my prayers every night that we get some good fortune for all the bad fortune we've had and give it our best shot next Friday. Sanders, I anticipate Sanders being a part of our regional next weekend. McGillis, not as confident.
All right, one more for Coach.
Mark, you talked about getting this offense back on track. Have you sensed pressing from guys up and down this order, and have they kind of gotten away from that identity you guys built for those first 40 games.
Yeah, I don't want to generalize too much, Colin, and say they're all pressing or none are pressing. I'm sure there's a couple pressing because, look, when guys go in slumps, they press. So that's why you've got to walk a fine line of not letting them get down on themselves. And sometimes you got to kick them in the butt. Sometimes you got to pat them on the back. Each guy's different. And so there may be a couple pressing. There may be a couple that say, man, I got to get back to my basics. You've got to go, you put it together as a team, but it's 9 hitters that all are different and unique human beings. And you've got to try to make sure you reach them. What was the second part of the question? I'm sorry. I don't think we've gotten away from the identity now on purpose. Now we faced, again, the last 4 weeks, we faced elite pitching staffs that throw a lot of strikes. And so you saw our identity in game 1 of this tournament, but Georgia didn't throw as many strikes as these other teams have. So a lot of it is dictated by who's on the mound. I wouldn't say that we've tried to get away from the foundation of our offense. Monty is very consistent in what he preaches to our guys. It's very consistent in the preparation and the scouting reports. But the last 4 weeks, the combination of who we're rolling out there in our lineup and the pitching we faced has not allowed us to be as good. And so that needs to change this week.
That's Mark Kingston yesterday postgame. A lot of you, and I'll get to these text messages weighing in on what you heard. And that's one of the reasons I wanted you to hear the whole thing and not just clips of what we sometimes tend to do. 803-404-6100. We'll get to that. John Whittle due up at 8:15 this morning to discuss regionals and what he thinks as well. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Have you missed any of the early game?
You can catch up by going to the early game on demand page at 1075thegame.com.
Or by downloading our 107.5 The Game app on iTunes or Google Play.
Sponsored by Family Dollar. Summer like you mean it while saving more at Family Dollar. Whether it's a fun day outside, a poolside barbecue, or a trip to the beach, you'll find everything you need here. Grills, inflatables, coolers, snacks, and so much more. Family Dollar, helping you do more.
Life matters. My son gave me a fabulous book for my birthday. It's titled simply Medal of Honor and contains the stories of dozens of Americans, some living, many now dead, who displayed valor beyond the call of duty. Every one of them's a hero. In Hebrews 11, the Bible explains that many people have been delivered from their problems, while many others are delivered through their problems. Every one of those men and women are heroes too. I see 2 dynamics here. First of all, God is always eager to help us with our difficulties if we'll let him in, and that means we let him in on his own terms. Secondly, the passage teaches that whether we go around something or through it, we can still trust God to make our life productive and positive. In other words, if we stay close to him and allow his hand to direct our steps, we can always come through with dignity and victory. This is Pastor Stephen Chitty of Christian Life. Remember, life matters, and so do you.
Go to clcolumbia.com for in-person and live streaming service times.
Family is comfort. It's care. It's a safe place. It seems when you need help, you can always count on family. At Broom Heating, Air, and Electrical, they are a family you can depend on and have been for 53 years. Heating and air is their passion. Customer service is their pleasure. And when Broom Heating, Air, and Electrical are in your home, your family is theirs. For an appointment, call 803-754-9409 or visit their website at broomheating.com.
When it's more than just your lawn, it deserves the Kubota Z400. Get a head-turning offer on class-leading speed, agility, simple deck height adjustments, and a quality cut. When you need comfort and performance, then you need the professional-grade Kubota Z400. Right now, get the Kubota Z400 mower for 0 down, 0% APR for 48 months, or save $300. Now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Stop by Pioneer Farm Equipment in Orangeburg, 1 mile off of I-26 exit 154B, or at pioneerfarmsc.com.
It's the Love Chevrolet Countdown to Gamecock Football.
99 days till kickoff.
Winner of Chevrolet's Mark of Excellence Award for Best in-Class Customer Experience. Maybe that's what Love customers love so much about Love Chevy.
I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com.
Find new roads.
We keep the clutter out of your gutter. Call on the gutter man.
The Guttermen have been providing top-notch service throughout the Midlands for over 47 years, building their business on relationships, not gimmicks. And you can call them locally, not a 1-800 number. Call them today at 791-7147 and look for the guys in the powder blue trucks.
We keep the clutter out of your gutter. Call on the gutter man.
Hey, Scott here from Traditions Fine Jewelers. When it comes to diamonds, everybody knows that we have the best selection. But did you know that we also have the best prices? How do we do it? In Mine Diamonds, we work directly with the largest cutters, and in lab-grown diamonds, by working directly with the growing laboratories, which allows us to offer you the best quality at the very best price. Like a lab-grown 1-carat diamond for just $999, or a 2-carat for just $2,999. We've even got a beautiful colorless 3-carat diamond for just $4,999. And once you've picked your diamond, we can help you pick exactly the right engagement ring style from our selection of over 1,000 rings, or we can help you design a custom ring that meets your exact specifications. So do your homework and see what diamonds are selling for online, and then come see us. You'll get exactly what you want at the very best price. Only at Traditions Fine Jewelers, 5134 Sunset Boulevard in Lexington, and in Sand Hills, where the Midlands get engaged.
Sponsored by Family Dollar.
Summer like you mean it while saving more at Family Dollar. Whether it's a fun day outside, a poolside barbecue, or a trip to the beach, you'll find everything you need here. Grills, inflatables, cooler snacks, and so much more. Family Dollar, helping you do more.
1075 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections. South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
The earlier accident on Interstate 26 westbound has since been cleaned up, and all roadways are now open and traffic is moving along just fine. Just expect maybe a little bit of a slowdown in that area near the flyover, but overall traffic looking pretty good as we get this Friday morning started. Now as we push later on into the morning, hopefully it will continue to stay that way, but do know as we move into the holiday weekend, traffic will be picking up, so just pack the patience over the coming days. With your First Alert Traffic, I'm Eric Zernick with WIS News 10.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 1075 The Game. Discover Herndon Certified, Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered. Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The early game with Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Shen Jensen on your home of the Gamecocks. 1075 The Game.
7:58 on your Friday morning commute, May the 26th. A couple of y'all weighing in on the Firehouse Subs text line after listening to Mark Kingston there. Chris saying, to be honest, the way South Carolina's played down the stretch, it doesn't matter where South Carolina plays in the regionals. Marshall saying, if we end up as a host, it's strictly because of venue and facilities. We certainly do not deserve it. Can we just go ahead and hire Landon Powell? I don't understand the infatuation with hiring Landon Powell. Aside from the fact that he played at Carolina, South Carolina's a big-time job. They if there was ever a coaching change, I love Landon, and Trey Dyson obviously used to be a big part of this show, and it is an assistant coach up there. I don't think Landon would be a good selection, but that's South Carolina doesn't have a job opening. Nothing to really discuss there. We'll talk more about it. John Whittle coming up at 8:15 this morning. I will get his take on what he sees with this team and then what he was kind of hearing in Hoover as far as regionals were concerned. We'll also get into a few other things here in hour number 3 as we take you to your Memorial Day weekend. It's the early game on 1075 The Game.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is Gamecock Athletics Director Ray Tanner, and you're listening to 1075 The Game,
a Cumulus media station.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring sergeants and lieutenants statewide. If you have correctional, security, military, or police experience, you can join SCDC as a sergeant or lieutenant. There's a $7,500 sign-on bonus and increased pay for most security positions. Start a rewarding new career with great benefits today. Visit joinscdc.com to apply now or call 803-734-JOBS for more information.
Carolina Power Equipment, the Midlands Kubota Superstore, is proud to announce our association with Kai Kroger, University of South Carolina punter extraordinaire.
I am super happy to be here. Carolina Power Equipment is the place to come get yourself a Kai Boda.
Sorry, Kai, that's Kubota. Kubota tractors and zero turns?
That's right. Carolina Power Equipment has the awesome Kubota tractors that can kick some serious dirt.
Yes, the Kubota L Series tractors are some of the most dependable and popular tractors on the market.
Yep, and the Kubota zero turns can keep your lawn looking like game day every day, guaranteed to stop and turn on a dime, just like my sweet kicks.
It's Kubota. Kubota.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Carolina Power Equipment, 2490 Charleston Highway in the heart of Casey. Or visit CarolinaPowerEquipment.com.
Kubota, it's the only orange I'll ever love.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing.
Join the celebration at Carowinds with Aeronautica Landing, an all-new themed area with 5 new rides set for high-flying adventure this summer. Then stay into the night as Carowinds celebrates 50 years of Carolina fun with a party like no other, including new food and drink, unforgettable live entertainment, and a nighttime firework and drone show. Visit Carowinds.com for more information. Right now, get tickets as low as $39.99 at Carowinds.
Whose birthday is tomorrow? Or your birthday? Happy birthday! By the way, I apologize. I've been trying to get all this. You see this? They've got now the whole new setup on, and it actually looks pretty good. On this will be the new live stream that I was showing y'all. And of course, you can see me in kind of the background there. So I've been trying to work on that, trying to get that set up this morning. 3 different cameras. Pretty interesting. At least it's keeping us entertained. Here's up. We're on this path today because this show we tend to just teeter wildly out of control. Our game got Preston Thorn. Unfortunately, I might have known a little bit about the Kardashians. Oh, and just like that, let's talk. 37 text messages right now. One person, sports talk show, talk sports. Sir, man, yeah, you don't get the program. You don't get the program. You don't understand what we're doing here. You're all about the game, guys. What's the theme of this show? I don't know. 1075, the game. $8:04 on a Monday morning as we get you up and get you going, get you to the office. Busy sports weekend ahead of us. Some golf with the Charles Schwab Challenge taking place out in Fort Worth, Texas, where Michael Block yesterday, well, he kind of crashed back to earth. We talked about that a little while ago with Preston Thorn. Block yesterday with an 81. He is in dead last place currently in the Charles Schwab Challenge, but you'll be able to catch that throughout the weekend. You'll have plenty of baseball, as we've been discussing, with SEC and ACC tournaments, conference tournaments going on across the country. You'll have the Premier League wrapping up on Sunday, their final matches of the year until August. So we've got a lot going on throughout the weekend. Patrick Perrette, you could hit him up on Twitter as always. I know he'll be fully invested in lacrosse, the NCAA lacrosse tournament. So a busy weekend as we head into Memorial Day weekend. A weekend is supposed to be a little strange, about a high of 58 tomorrow with some rain involved. So I'm not sure if it's Memorial Day or just another day in January, but we'll get through the weekend and we'll roll into the month of June, and we'll start the NCAA baseball tournament. And again, D1 baseball as of yesterday, this is prior to the games that took place yesterday, but D1 baseball yesterday had South Carolina hosting as a regional host. They would be the 15 seed matched up with the number 2 seed in Florida, and at least D1 baseball as of yesterday morning was projecting South Carolina the host, North Carolina coming to town, Grand Canyon, and UNC Wilmington. So that's at least where things stand. Clemson was listed as the number 5 national seed with Campbell, Oregon, and Central Connecticut State all coming to Doug Kingsmore Stadium in their most recent projections. We'll see if they put out something else. I was kind of looking to see if they had updated anything for this morning, but at least as of now, that's the only update that at least D1 baseball has put out. So we'll kind of keep an eye out and see this morning as we go through this final hour if anything comes out. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll catch up with John Whittle of thebigspur.com and just discuss with him what he heard from Hoover as it pertains to South Carolina, what he thinks about hosting and where he thinks this team is kind of heading. So we'll do that. Also coming up this hour, we'll get into a little bit of college football discussion as next Tuesday. This is, I'm kind of excited for next week, and I'm kind of feel like I'm setting myself up for failure because next Tuesday starts the SEC spring meetings down in Destin, Florida. So I'm hoping, and I think a lot of us are hoping, we will get clarity. We will get an answer on the SEC football schedule. Are they going to go to 9 games with the 3 permanent opponents and the 6 rotating? Are they going to go to an 8-game schedule with the 1 permanent opponent and the 7 rotating opponents? You know, a lot of information out there on what they may or may not do. People kind of talking to their sources, so to speak, and saying this is what is to be expected and this is what we think. So again, a lot happening there with SEC spring meetings starting Tuesday. And again, hoping that we get some clarity. Texas and Oklahoma they will have their representatives, their athletic directors. I've not seen where their coaches are going to be there, just their athletic directors. But you're hoping that we get some kind of clarity. And then from South Carolina's sake, I'd like to see what these schedules look like. I'd like to stop discussing the possibilities and instead be discussing what is the reality of the situation. Is it indeed Florida and Kentucky and Tennessee as the 3 permanent opponents? And then what do the other 6 look like after that? When will this all really kind of kick in here? How will the SEC try and do it? That's the big questions that we'll have. And, you know, there's even a look at how they'll do some basketball scheduling and baseball scheduling. So a lot there to be figured out. And again, that'll start all next Tuesday with SEC spring meetings done in Destin. So we'll get into a little bit of that discussion this hour as well as we roll along. 803-404-6100 is how you can join us this morning. Again, a lot to get to, but a lot of talk about baseball. South Carolina yesterday loses 5-0 to Texas A&M to be eliminated from the SEC tournament. Just a poor day all the way around. Jack Mahoney not with his best stuff, giving up 4 earned runs, struck out 2, walked 2, and faced 19 batters in his 4 innings of work. Again, not his best day, but South Carolina's bats just absolutely going quiet yesterday. Just 1 hit on the day. And Texas A&M, they were willing to put guys on. 7 walks yesterday by the Aggies pitchers. They did strike out 11. Justin Lampkin got the start, 7 innings pitched, gave up that 1 hit, struck out 9, and he walked 3. Chris Cortez came in for 2/3 of an inning and walked 3 guys to give South Carolina an opportunity there in the 8th inning, but they weren't able to pull anything off. And again, a 5-0 loss there for the Gamecocks. And again, we'll catch up with John Whittle coming up here in just a few minutes to discuss with him. Anything you want to weigh in on this morning? If you've got a topic, 803-404-6100. Also mentioned the NBA playoffs, the Miami Heat last night go down again. And I've got a bad feeling. Let's just say that, a bad feeling as it pertains to what is about to happen with the Heat, the Celtics. Celtics are trying to become the first team ever. Preston Thorne in the opening hour giving us the stat 0-151 is the stat I believe that he gave as it pertains to teams rallying from a 3-0 deficit in the playoffs in the NBA. But the Celtics, they've got the talent to do it. Tatum and Brown, Marcus Smart, Derek White getting in on the action last night. and the Celtics win 110-97 to make it a 3-2 lead for the Heat. They will be back in action coming up tomorrow night in Miami. Hopefully, for me, because I am a little bit of a Heat fan, hopefully the Heat able to go out and be able to pull that one off. 803-404-6100. When we come back, we'll get a little more baseball talk. We will discuss with John Whittle what he sees, because the big question now is, or will South Carolina host a regional? Will they get one here? You do want one. Look, being Founders Park is one of the best venues in college baseball when it's rocking. South Carolina's fans are as good as any at going out and making that place a difficult environment for the opposition. You want this regional. You don't. There's no need to give up just yet. You want this regional to be here. And if you're matched up with Florida, as D1 baseball is doing, hey, that works out just as well, because there should be some confidence there that you can handle them after what happened earlier this year. But we'll talk with John Whittle when we come back. You're listening to the early game on 107.5, The Game. Zero res in the next one, and we're good. So we're good. Zero res after not this one, but next one. Yep, good.
Run up to the Kentucky Derby comes a startup national thoroughbred league, the 16th and a 36-horse draft. A league which debuts in September will race older horses and retired and young to create equine stars fans can actually follow for years. Boomer Science.
Enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Container rates may apply.
Leaving for the gym so early? I'm ready to go. Since you started taking Eugenics Total T, you've been acting like when we met in our 20s.
I feel like myself again. Lower testosterone after turning 40 slowed me down. Eugenics Total T has been a game changer for me.
What is it about Eugenics Total T that's different?
Well, it's a patented key ingredient called Testofen. It boosts free and total testosterone to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. It's backed by 5 clinical studies.
I've seen the huge difference it's made for you in the gym, at work, and in the bedroom.
I'm so glad I sent them a text for my complimentary bottle. Text to STAY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Eugenics Total T. Eugenics is the #1 selling testosterone-boosting brand at GNC and Walmart's. Do it now. We will also send you a bottle of Eugenics Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text STAY to 42424. That's STAY to 42424. Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Sponsored by South Carolina Education Lottery. The Powerball jackpot for Saturday is $211 million. Be sure to stop by your local South Carolina Education Lottery retailer and get your ticket today. CSCEducationLottery.com for jackpot odds and a store near you.
Interest rates are going up all over town, but Galliana Kia has rates going down, down, down. Now you can finance a new Kia at 0% APR at Galliana Kia on Greystone. Or you can buy now and pay later with no payments all summer long. 2023 Kia Rio LX, just $16,990. And any trade goes. We'll get you out of your current loan or lease, even if you're over mileage, have months left, or still owe thousands. Query by your credit. Don't sweat it. If you've got a job and you make at least $2,000 per month, our lenders can get you approved for a new Kia with 0% APR financing. Galliana Kia on Greystone, I-126 in Sioux Columbia. Call 779-7300 or KiaColumbia.com. Real stock number for K126. Tax and tax includes $235 closing fee. Qualified buyers. $166 per month for $1,000.
South Carolina fans, this is Spencer Rattler. The Garnet Trust is making a difference by connecting fans like you with athletes like me through NIL deals. Head on over to GarnetTrust.com to find out how you can support me and my teammates for as little as $10.
Hi, everybody. This is Woody Wyndham here to talk about Pioneer Tree Service, Guy Gant's company. Guy Gant's not with us anymore, but his girls are the Gant girls. You know, Chelsea and Madison. You know some of the things they do at Pioneer Tree Service? Tree and shrub removal, tree pruning and thinning, tree planting, tree bracing, raising tree canopies, stump grinding removal, storm damage services, property cleaning and grading, demolition and rock removal, right-of-way maintenance. You got to get in touch with these people. 803-794-8253. Let me give you that again. 803-794-8253. Call right now and get a free estimate. The most challenging jobs, Pioneer Tree Service. So you're going to want to call somebody you can trust, and that is the Gant girls at Pioneer Tree Service.
803-794-8253. Or find us online at pioneertreesc.com.
Call Pioneer Tree Service for a free quote.
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save. Right now, buy a Select Metabo HPT cordless nailer and get a 36-volt 2.5 amp-hour battery free, a $139.99 value. And as a Lowe's MVP, buy Select Owens cordless.
Oh my gosh.
Lowe's knows pros. While supplies last, selection varies by location. U.S. only. Bonus points calculated before tax and fees after applicable discounts and valid through 6 months. Subject to change. South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide. Huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply. WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
The earlier accident on Interstate 26 westbound has since been cleaned up, and all roadways are now open and traffic is moving along just fine. Just expect maybe a little bit of a slowdown in that area near the flyover, but overall, traffic looking pretty good as we get this Friday morning started. Now, as we push later on into the morning, hopefully it will continue to stay that way, but do know as we move into the holiday weekend, traffic will be picking up, so just pack the patience over the coming days. With your First Alert Traffic, I'm Aaron Cernan with WIS News 10.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
I was going to keep letting that play because what a perfect segue into a segment with John Whittle. It was One Republican. I ain't worried. And John, good to have you this morning. How you feel? Good trip back from Hoover. I texted you while you were driving yesterday, and I seemed to be annoying you while you were trying to make the trip back.
Well, it was a good trip back because I made it back. So as long as that happens, you've done at least okay.
There you go. Well, it's good to have you back here. Hopefully you get a nice Memorial Day weekend to rest up, because starting next week is regionals. And I was laughing. That is a perfect segue song about not being I ain't worried by whoever it was that was One Republic. So South Carolina fans, though, and you've seen it, you've watched it with your own eyes the last few weeks, and just in the best way you can describe it, where is this team mentally from some of your interviews and listening to them talk?
Mentally, they're probably not as far off as everybody kind of thinks they are. I think they still believe in themselves. I still think I know they're working hard. I know they're playing with full effort. I mean, you don't need to do anything more than watch Evan Stone crash into the wall like he did yesterday to know that they're playing hard and playing with effort. They're just not playing good. And, Kingston said it the other day. I've been saying it for a couple of weeks on our message boards on thebigspur.com that, sometimes folks can don't think teams are playing without effort because they're playing badly. And sometimes they're just playing badly, and that's kind of what South Carolina's doing right now. So, I don't think they're in a bad place mentally. I think they're okay, but they've got to play a lot better. And if you keep playing bad, you're not going to be playing for much longer.
The question will be, where are they playing? And from you being in Hoover and just having a chance to kind of talk to people in the press box and what you're hearing, obviously yesterday, prior to the game, D1 Baseball put out their most recent projection, and it had South Carolina hosting again as a 15 seed. What have you heard? What can you share on what you think will transpire? Or if we're watching other games this weekend and a particular outcome that could impact where South Carolina goes or if they host?
Yeah, it's a good question, and it's obviously really fluid because, you know, things that happen outside of South Carolina are certainly going to matter. If you won yesterday, I don't think that there was any possibility that South Carolina wouldn't host, but didn't win yesterday. So there is a possibility. I still think that South Carolina probably ends up hosting. Oklahoma State is a team to watch. They lost their first game of the Big 12 tournament. Now they're in their losers bracket. And, you know, if they make a run, maybe they work their way into it. Indiana State is one to watch. There's Dallas Baptist, perhaps. There are a few teams out there who might be able to come in and take that spot from South Carolina. But you know, I know that South Carolina doesn't look like a top 16 seed. They don't even look like if you have 25 hosts right now, they don't look like one right now. But you know, how you finish the season is only part of what the selection committee considers. They consider the whole body of work, and the whole body of work is good for South Carolina. If you just look at the resume, they're one of the top 16 seeds when you consider the entirety of the season. But how you finish is a big deal, and you know, South Carolina did not finish well. Obviously, you know, one thing they look at is the last 10. That's one of the first lines on the resume, and you know, the last 10 is only 10. It's not 20 or 25. So South Carolina's 3-7 over the last 10. They've played a little bit better here recently, even without the results. Like, you know, the Arkansas series looked much different than the Kentucky series, for example. So it's not real good. South Carolina's not in a great place, but they're not in a terrible place either from a hosting standpoint.
I asked Jamie Bradford this on Monday, and he said it still happens, but maybe not as much as it used to. And that is, in this state, we know that Clemson is going to host a regional, and they're going to be a national seed. Coastal Carolina is fighting for a national seed. They're going to host a regional. How much do you think the NCAA baseball tournament committee takes into the fact that there's already two teams in the state hosting, and that this would be the third one for the state of South Carolina? Is that going to play into it if South Carolina's battling? You mentioned Dallas Baptist, you mentioned Oklahoma State, Indiana State. You know, obviously those are teams, Oklahoma State and Dallas Baptist, in the Midwest, more so to speak, Southwest, that maybe it's a little bit easier for certain teams to travel to. Indiana State, obviously, up in the, I guess we'd label that the Midwest. Maybe, I'm not real sure there on geography, but the bottom line is, how much do you think it impacts South Carolina's chances with those teams, Clemson and Coastal, hosting?
It matters, but not as much as it used to. You know, it's turned into a tournament. I mean, it used to be a lot more difficult to travel than it is now, right? And the NCAA put some bills, and you know, it matters a little bit, but not like it used to. It's become more about resume than anything else. But, you know, I'm not going to completely discount that, because, you know, they do want to continue to grow the game of baseball. And you know, when you have hosts from different conferences in different areas of the country, it helps a little bit, but it's not quite the same as it used to be, but it certainly factors in.
He's John Whittle joining us. Just a few more minutes with him. I know he wants to get some rest and maybe get involved in his Memorial Day weekend. The next big question after hosting is going to be the health of this baseball team. What can you share on your expectations for Braylon Wimmer? And you know, will he be 100%? Cole Messina, I assume, will be fine and out of concussion protocol, barring something crazy. Will Sanders, obviously, there's going to be questions about him. Chris Veach did throw a little bit yesterday and seemed better, seemed okay. Some of these guys seem like they're capable of playing, but the question is going to be, are they 100% or are they playing at 60 or 70?
Well, let's start with Cole Messina. Like, think about football for a second. When a guy leaves the game with a concussion, right? Like, how often are they back the next week? They're not usually back, right? So I'm a little bit more worried about Cole Messina's status for next week than perhaps the initial concern would be. I'm not 100% sure that he's definitely going to be back and ready to go. So we'll see on that. Wimmer should be back in the lineup. I would be surprised if not. Will Sanders should be ready for some role next weekend. Before he had the leg injury, they were going to pitch him out of the bullpen. With the way James Hicks started and threw the other day, I think that's probably still going to be the case, to use him out of the bullpen in some capacity. Chris Beach should be good. Noah Hall's obviously out for the year. Thomas Leekroy is still playing through his hamstring injury. We can see that he doesn't move quite as well, but he should be pretty close to 100%. I think that's just about everybody. Of course, Eli Jerzenbeck's out for the year, but I think that's it. Everybody else should be ready to rock and roll. I guess Caleb Denny, I'm not sure the status of Caleb Denny. He didn't do anything out in Hoover. He's got some sort of leg injury, some sort of left leg injury. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on there, but he hasn't really been quite as influential here lately anyway.
He's again, John Whittle joining us. How do you expect the pitching rotation to play? I'm assuming, well, I guess it depends on what day you get, the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or how that can kind of work. What would you, and again, I know I'm asking you a question here with a lot of variables because you don't know where South Carolina's at and who they're playing and what the seed is and who the other teams are that you could face. What would be your opinion, though, your early guess at how they want to do the rotation with Hicks and Mahoney and maybe Becker? Do you come out of the gate right now trying to maybe throw what I assume is your best pitcher again and Jack Mahoney? Next Thursday would be a full week's rest, which would kind of put him back on schedule. This team and mentally where they're at, how would you kind of set up that rotation to build confidence and give yourself the best chance to win?
Yeah, that's probably what you end up doing with Mahoney. But like you said, there are too many other factors at play right now. Who you're playing, maybe more so than where you're playing. James Hicks was the perfect matchup for a Georgia team that had either 7 or 8 right-handed hitters in the lineup. His batting average against is about 70 points different, almost 60 or 70 points different, going against right-handers and left-handers. So, if you get a right-handed heavy team in your regional, you probably go to him as a starting pitcher, in whatever game that is, whether you're playing a 1 seed, a 2 seed, 3 seed, 4 seed, whatever day, that probably is your best bet right there, and save Mahoney for the other day. So I think it's going to change. I think it could alter, based on who's in your regional, what their strengths are, where you're playing, what you're trying to do. But I think for me, I think Hicks and Mahoney are going to be your top 2 guys, and then probably some sort of matchup situation behind that with Eli Jones and Matthew Becker. See who wins, see where you are, see how the other teams have reacted, and then kind of go from there. But I'm gonna say it's gonna be some version of Mahoney and Hicks in that order for your first 2 games.
Before we let you out, let me just look into your future crystal ball here. We're about 45-ish days away from the Major League Baseball draft. What can you kind of share with us on the incoming class? Because I know a lot of people, I think, when we finally sit back and take stock of this year and try to look toward the future, you're going to look at maybe who you lose off of this roster and so forth and so on. What can you tell us about the incoming class and maybe guys that you'll spend the next 30 days maybe keeping an eye on that could be selected and not make it to school?
Well, it's a good question. Most folks aren't going to like the answer.
Oh boy, thank you.
know,
You're just a ray of sunshine this morning, aren't you?
Well, I can only be honest, right? The incoming class of freshmen is not very good. There's two guys that you have kind of circled going into the spring on who may be drafted. George Walkow, a left-handed 6'6", left-handed hitting outfielder, and Lee Ellis, a shortstop with a really, really good glove, who played his last year at Pro 5 Academy up in North Carolina. Walkow's probably too good, and too much upside there. I think he's probably going to get drafted pretty well, based on how he's performed in the winter months and into the spring. Lee Ellis, I think, is more likely going to be coming to school. His bat hasn't played as well here against really good competition in the league that he's playing in, for scouts to give him kind of the money he wants. But he's somebody to watch out for too. But he's a really good defender, as a middle infielder, and still trying to bring the bat along. He's got some tools now. He can still play. So there are a couple of other guys in the class who can be really helpful in terms of coming in and contributing next year. A couple of pitchers, Tyler Pitzer from up in the Northeast, Eddie Copper, who's from Pennsylvania, but played his final year of high school ball here in Columbia, in Lexington, I guess, at P27 Academy. There might be another guy or two in that class who can come in and contribute a little bit, but this is going to be a very, very transfer portal heavy off season, just like last year was. I don't think next year is going to have to be quite the same as this year and last, but there's going to be another 9, 10, 11 guy transfer class, just because the 2023 class had a few misses in there, had a few more misses in there than you really want.
Whittle, always appreciate you taking time to join us. I know you hopefully have some great weekend plans lined up, and then it's back to the ball field for you next week, and then the summer just around the corner, man. Look forward to catching up later on, talking other things. Tough break. You and Jay Phillips, the Arsenal guys, right?
Come on now, Gunter. Don't make me sad. Of course. Sunday's the final day of the Premier League.
Yeah.
All 10 matches going on at one time, 10 o'clock. So you'll know what I'll be doing on Saturday on Sunday at 10 a.m.
We do. Unfortunately, not hoisting a trophy. Not that I'm a Man City fan. I just that's more of a. Unfortunately, you're taking the strays there. I like reminding Jay Phillips about that, but unfortunately, you're getting caught up in the crossfire.
It's okay. I can deal with second place this year after what it's been for the last 15.
There you go. Positive way to finish it up, buddy. Take care. Have a great Memorial Day weekend, and catch up with you soon.
Appreciate you. Take care.
John Whittle joining us. Good breakdown there of baseball, both of what's going on with the regionals, what's going on with the health of this team, and then looking ahead, because that's going to be some of it, looking ahead to what 2024 could look like for this baseball team. 803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
We are very social. At 107.5 The Game on Twitter, 107.5 The Game on Instagram, and 107.5 The Game on Facebook.
Oh, Teddy, did you get my friend request? Oh, I'll have to check.
Your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
Memorial Day weekend is here. That hopefully means a nice party, maybe just having family over, maybe just relaxing around the house, but still, when it's all said and done next week, you're going to want the house to look clean, because this weekend is all about rest, and the kids are going to want to play outside and then maybe track grass and dirt and mud back in the house, depending on how the weather goes. It's time to contact Zerorez and get that appointment lined up to have them out to the house next week and make it look clean with that patented ZR water technology. Scientifically proven to keep the carpets, the rugs, the tile, the upholstery all insanely clean. Call them today, 803-262-4020, or schedule with ease online, ZerorezColumbia.com. Mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean for just $129. So don't wait any longer. Call them today, 803-262-4020, or schedule again with ease. You can just go online, ZerorezColumbia.com. mention me, Bill Gunner, at 1075 The Game, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean for $129. So go ahead, call today, line up that appointment so that this week you can party hardy and not worry about the house being dirty. You'll have the pros coming next week to clean it. Call Zerorez, 803-262-4020, or schedule online, ZerorezColumbia.com. Zerorez, spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Join the celebration at Carowinds with Aeronautica Landing, an all-new themed area with 5 new rides set for high-flying adventure this summer. Then stay into the night as Carowinds celebrates 50 years of Carolina fun with a party like no other, including new food and drink, unforgettable live entertainment, and a nighttime firework and drone show. Visit Carowinds.com for more information. Right now, get tickets as low as $39.99 at Carowinds.com with our early dates deal. Carowinds, for the fun of it.
At the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm, we know how serious injuries change people's lives. I'm Jason Reynolds. When you're involved in a major car or truck accident, my team is on your side. You don't have to be alone. Let's do this together.
And I'm Stephen Samuels. When you're hurt at work, my team is with you from start to finish. We're people with a passion for helping injured workers. Bring your case to us and stop the worry. We've got this.
Samuels Reynolds. True injuries, true lawyers. 803-779-4000.
Hey, Scott here from Traditions Fine Jewelers. When it comes to diamonds, everybody knows that we have the best selection. But did you know that we also have the best prices? How do we do it? In Mine Diamonds, we work directly with the largest cutters, and in lab-grown diamonds by working directly with the growing laboratories, which allows us to offer you the best quality at the very best price. Like a lab-grown 1-carat diamond for just $999, or a 2-carat for just $2,999. We've even got a beautiful colorless 3-carat diamond for just $4,999. And once you've picked your diamond, we can help you pick exactly the right engagement ring style from our selection of over 1,000 rings, or we can help you design a custom ring that meets your exact specifications. So do your homework and see what diamonds are selling for online, and then come see us. You'll get exactly what you want at the very best price. Only at Traditions Fine Jewelers, 5134 Sunset Boulevard in Lexington and in Sand Hills, where the Midlands get engaged.
When you open your hopper, you don't fill it with just any hardwood pellets, right? You fill it with Kingsford 100% hardwood blend pellets. Made right here in the USA with North American ingredients and a 100% natural hardwood blend, Kingsford pellets can be used on any pellet grill and add delicious smoky flavor to any meal. Kingsford's the name you trust for the low and slow cooking you crave. So look for Kingsford 100% hardwood blend pellets. Kingsford.com.
So I'm toying again. I've been spending most of the morning trying to learn, so y'all can kind of see this new setup we're going to have. So I was playing with it so you can see the screens that I can change. Camera 4 is not set up just yet. We're getting there. I've not been very active on the live stream this morning because I've been fiddling with this thing over here.
years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
The earlier accident on Interstate 26 westbound has since been cleaned up, and all roadways are now open and traffic is moving along just fine. Just expect maybe a little bit of a slowdown in that area near the flyover, but overall, traffic looking pretty good as we get this Friday morning started now as we push later on into the morning. Hopefully it will continue to stay that way, but do know as we move into the holiday weekend, traffic will be picking up, so just pack the patience over the coming days. With your First Alert Traffic, I'm Eric Zernick with WIS News 10.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
8:40 on a Friday morning as we slowly wrap up. About 18 minutes left here on the early game. And again, reminder, we'll be off on Monday for Memorial Day and be back on Tuesday to start really breaking down the baseball regionals, to see where we're heading with the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs. Well, who knows? Maybe we'll even give you some great lacrosse talk. But one thing that's really going to be kind of front and center next week, at least for me, and I mentioned this earlier in the program, is these SEC spring meetings and hopefully getting the final answer on what scheduling is going to look like. I talked a little bit about it the other day, about you look at South Carolina's future football schedules and the competition they play. I mean, you could be looking at situations. I think some of you are all in on the 9-game conference schedule, because then you factor in Clemson. That gives you a 10th big game, Power 5 team. And then if you look down the line and you go to 2025 and then 2026 and so forth and on, you got Virginia Tech one year where you can factor in another big-time opponent. The 2025 schedule actually would be, I don't want to say ridiculous. That's probably not being fair. But the 2025 schedule, if they go to the 9-game conference schedule, whatever it may be, your 2025 schedule has Virginia Tech, Coastal Carolina, and Clemson, the Virginia Tech game in Atlanta at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium on a Sunday night to start the season. That 2025 schedule, I'm not saying it would be the toughest in the country or the toughest, that South Carolina's ever played, but it's up there. I mean, that would be really entertaining. Virginia Tech's got to get better. We'll see if they are, if they do, if they will, whatever. But you get the point. That would be your 2025. 2026, 9-game conference schedule. You got maybe a breather in there in week 2 against Towson. Other than that, you open the season with Miami. You go on the road to Clemson. I mean, for the people that want to say, hey, I want to see quality competition. I don't want to see the games against Troy and Georgia State and Eastern Illinois and so forth and so on. I'm not spending my hard-earned money to go and see those games. I want to see great games at Williams-Brice Stadium. I mean, this is what you're going to start getting. 2027, we'll see what would happen in that year. South Carolina would be scheduled to go on the road to Miami, East Carolina, and Appalachian State, as well as Clemson. 2028 has your next game against North Carolina. That game would actually be here in Columbia in 2028. You'd also have a Wofford game in there as well. So you get kind of where we're going with this, and it's why next week, hopefully, there's been nothing definitive that says the SEC will make any announcements. Again, I mentioned this earlier in the program that next week, the athletic directors, I have not read, I was kind of scouring through the internet to see if like Steve Sarkisian and Brent Venables and the coaches from Texas and Oklahoma would be at these particular spring meetings, or if it's just the athletic directors making the trip, because like Shane Beamer will have to go down there, Kirby Smart, Lamont Paris, all the coaches go and make their appearances to discuss their respective sports. But it will be interesting. And again, I hope to get that. I personally, again, I've kind of settled in. I like the idea of playing Florida on a yearly basis. I like the Tennessee series. Tennessee series is fun. And I think that is I think it's developed into a true rivalry series. Georgia looks at South Carolina a little bit differently. I think Tennessee and South Carolina, there is a genuine dislike of each other that has developed over the year. I mean, this series, obviously Tennessee owns the upper hand in terms of wins and losses. But you look at this series over the last really 22 years, it's as entertaining as any that South Carolina has in this league. It's something that I would like to see continue forward. And then Kentucky, Look, you talk about great road trips every other year. I think a lot of people, if you can time it right, you go up there, you go on a little bourbon tour, you get Keenan Lynn involved. Kentucky's a nice stadium. It's not the greatest. It's not the worst. It's right there where you're like, okay, that would work. I mean, again, if I maybe had to pick one other that I just enjoy seeing South Carolina play, it would be Auburn. But to be quite honest, I'm not sure you want to see Hugh Freeze on your schedule each and every year, given what he's done at previous stops. So the Kentucky would be as good as a pick as anybody. And again, I love the Tennessee series, and keeping the Florida game would be really neat. So we'll see next week if we actually get an answer to this, or if we continue to drag our feet and it comes out, say, later on during the football season. You know how the SEC likes to do that. You're sitting there on a Monday and they say, hey, tomorrow night we're going to announce the 2024 football schedule, and we'll tell you how it all exactly is going to play out. I would rather see something come of it next week, starting Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and get some answers on it. I'm sure there'll be some expansion talk as well, but Greg Sankey, I have to imagine, is going to both downplay that and also keep it very close to the vest if there is indeed anything they plan to do. 803-404-6100. We'll come back. We will wrap up the Friday morning episode of the early game on 107.5 The Game.
107.5 The Game on demand podcast menu. Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. If you're dealing with injuries or pain, our team is here to get you better sooner. On the home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Lowe's. Come shop Memorial Day deals now at Lowe's. Save on appliances with up to an additional $1,000 off select major kitchen appliances. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 5/31. Savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See store Lowe's.com for details.
Welcome back to Carolina Power Equipment and our special guest, Kai Kroger, punter extraordinaire for the University of South Carolina.
Yep, it's Kai Boda country right here at Carolina Power Equipment.
That's Kubota, Kai.
Oh, right. That's what I said.
Tell everyone why you love these Kubota zero turns.
They're like our best running backs. They can cut through anything, and they're built like our biggest linebacker, tough as nails. Plus, they can stop and turn on a dime, just like my sweet kicks.
Don't forget about all the Kubota tractors. This place is a Kubota superstore.
I love these Kubota tractors. They keep winning awards for being the best in the business.
It's like the Ray Guy Award for Best Punter, where you were clearly robbed.
Moving on, if you're a landowner, these Kai Boda tractors simply outkick the competition.
Kai Boda? Nice try, buddy.
Tried a little fake there. I'm kind of known for that.
Carolina Power Equipment, 2490 Charleston Highway in the heart of Casey. Or visit CarolinaPowerEquipment.com.
Kubota, it's the only orange I'll ever love.
It's the Love Chevrolet Countdown to Gamecock Football.
99 days till kickoff.
Winner of Chevrolet's Mark of Excellence Award for Best in-Class Customer Experience. Maybe that's what Love customers love so much about Love Chevy. I-26 at Harbison and at LoveChevy.com. Find new roads.
If you have tax problems and want to end the frustration of dealing with the IRS, grab a pen and take down this number. Hi, I'm local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm, located right here in the Midlands. Let us show you what it takes to solve your tax problems once and for all. The first step, which can be one of the hardest, is to take action. Do something. Call me, set an appointment, and meet with me in person. Your first visit is completely free and confidential, and I'll show you how to take control of the problem. So if you haven't filed your tax returns for years or are facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call me, John Ecton, at 803-771-9800. That's 803-771-9800. Or go to EctonLawFirm.com. That's ECTON lawfirm.com. Learn what it takes to solve your tax problems for good. Take that first step to a better future. Call me, John Ecton.
Hi, I'm Glenn Matthews.
And I'm Melanie Matthews.
And we are the third generation owners of Modern Exterminating Company.
In a time when corporate consolidation, high-pressure door knockers, and inexperienced startups are becoming the norm, isn't it nice to have an experienced, local, family-owned company that you can count on since 1955?
Modern Exterminating has been the local, independent industry leader in the pest control business for the last 67 years. Experience the local, family-owned difference for yourself at 803-765-2315 or pestfreesc.com.
Family is comfort. It's care. It's a safe place. It seems when you need help, you can always count on family. At Broom Heating, Air, and Electrical, they are a family you can depend on and have been for 53 years. Heating and air is their passion. Customer service is their pleasure. And when Broom Heating, Air, and Electrical are in your home, your family is theirs. For an appointment, call 803-754-9409. or visit their website at broomheating.com. Waper Incorporated has been providing great service and top-of-the-line equipment for Columbia's janitorial needs for 50 years. Skip Skipper and Jay Coleman at Waper Incorporated offer unbeatable pre-sale and post-sale service for their equipment to achieve the highest level of customer satisfaction in the Midlands. Waper provides in-service equipment training, installation of proportioning systems and hand care systems, along with a full array of janitorial products, offering next or same-day delivery to the greater Columbia area. Let Waper serve you. Call 803-600-3757 or WaperIncSC.com.
1075 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections. South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
The earlier accident on Interstate 26 westbound has since been cleaned up and all roadways are now open and traffic is moving along just fine. Just expect maybe a little bit of a slowdown in that area near the flyover, but overall traffic looking pretty good as we get this Friday morning started now as we push later on into the morning. Hopefully it will continue to stay that way, but do know as we move into the holiday weekend, traffic will be picking up, so just pack the patience over the coming days. With your First Alert Traffic, I'm Eric Zernick with WIS News 10.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 1075 The Game. Discover Herndon Certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered. Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The early game with Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen on your home of the Gamecocks. 1075 The Game.
Final segment of the program, and each and every week Jen works real hard to put together our week in review. Even though she's not here, she's off to Indianapolis. She's done it again. Here is everything you've missed from this past week and maybe a few other things she wanted to add in since she's not here to make fun of me. Here's our week in review. The theme of this show. I don't know what happened. You're an idiot, Gunner. JC is a big Roadhouse guy. Are you a Roadhouse? Preston's still got his blanket with cats on it.
Kitties. Tremendous. We are officially in petty season. College football is back, baby.
Real, yeah.
Are you okay? Okay. All right.
Yeah. I was just taking a swig of Cherry Coke Zero here.
No, nothing like that. Bright and early at 6:30 in the morning.
There's no bourbon in
it. Some people get very agitated when you say that it's not fall. It's not fall when it's 103 in August. It's not fall. You're an idiot, Gunner.
I don't usually agree with you, Bill.
You need to come up with a nickname for yourself, like something cowboy. Biscuit Cowboy or something.
I have a lot of nicknames for him.
Which one can you put cowboy on the end of so the next time he meets him, he's like, "Hey, cornbread, it's me, Biscuit," like something like that.
Hush puppy, hush puppy, Gunner. You're an idiot, Gunner. And I was purchasing a beer, and he was there, and I didn't know who he was, and
he didn't know who you were, and oh my gosh,
it was two celebrities passing two ships in the night, just crazy.
What world are we living?
Trying to survive, working with the Donut Cowboy in here. Bottom of the 8th, 2 outs, second and third, you're down a run, and let's say you got the second baseman who's hitting 265 up there. You send out your magic bat. I can pick anybody in my lineup. That's the rule. I don't want just the manager going out to the home plate umpire. Manager's got to put on a cape.
Okay.
Little hat. And you got one of those smoke bombs.
And he appears.
And you come to the top of the dugout and you spike your smoke bomb, and it's just like throwing a flag. Announcers go crazy. Oh, it's the magic batter. You're an idiot, Gunner.
You know what that is, Bill?
I have no clue.
That is the sound of the Vandy whistle.
Oh, that guy.
Get him out of here.
Yes. When you stop running for donuts, Jen, you're pretty much not running anymore.
Okay, whatever.
What's worse? Somebody's hand is sticky when you shake them, or their hand is moist when you shake it?
And how many people have an aversion to you even using the word moist?
Oh, for sure.
Win if you can, lose if you must. Always cheat.
Bill, this idea is full on stupid.
Thank you.
I will not. I'm going to say that.
If we don't sweep them, if we don't go 3-0, we're gonna go 2-1, and that's gonna make us 31, 33, and 33 and 7. And then we're gonna get on the second half of the season, and we're gonna win 50-something games this year. We're gonna start taking.
All right, get into the break.
Wow, that is as professional as it gets.
You're an idiot, Gunner. After last year's debacle, I'm not even
The
running the
donut
risk.
debacle.
Yeah, and then like I show up the next day, there's just an empty box, like a couple sprinkles left in there, but
We celebrated you, Bill.
the halftime show celebrated.
So you guys aren't gonna just snuggle, like I can
The-
see you
the
two
sun-
kind of huddled. And,
We are a little bit closer than we normally are in studio right now. There is,
It hasn't reached that cold yet. Jim.
yeah. It's,
I'm not above that, but it's not that we're not that dire.
that's right. Hey, my man,
Throw that in the garbage.
you're an idiot, Gunner. That is actually the best of the last month. Jen put together a whole the best of the last month, and appreciate her for doing that. She is off. She is off to Indianapolis, I believe, halfway up there now, and will enjoy a nice Memorial Day weekend. We will all be back on Tuesday. Taking Monday off. Enjoy it with your family. We're going to enjoy it with our family, and we will reconvene Tuesday morning. Again, we'll start talking about those SEC spring meetings. We'll start talking about the baseball regional that'll be next week. Will it be here in Columbia, or will South Carolina be going elsewhere? We'll have a lot to get to. I tell you, once Memorial Day kind of rolls around, we're officially getting into summer. So you can probably count on some of the goofy topics to pop up as well next week. I appreciate everybody listening, being part of the program, weighing in on the text line or the phone lines. Producer Ed Bird, thank you everything for you've done today. Y'all have a fantastic Memorial Day weekend. Take care. We'll see you on Tuesday.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
What's up, y'all? This Gamecocks wide receiver Juice Wells. You're listening.
Everybody have a delicious weekend. Take care. Enjoy some great food. We will see you on Tuesday. Take care.